Hello, everybody. Gotta get my volume down here so I don't break everybody's eardrums. But yeah, welcome everyone. Hope you're all having an amazing Sunday. Labor Day weekend, of course. Hard to believe. Summer is coming to a close, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it, but it's been a rough one. It has been hot, humid, windy, horrific rainstorms. I thought I was going to die so many times being stuck outside trying to hold down an awning because there was no time to try to lower it before the storm came. There's a couple shorts on my channel if you ever want to check it out. It's quite funny. There's like I think 2 videos of like this torrential rains. Now the ones where I was trying to hold on for dear life, I wasn't really able to videotape those like directly, other than show the weather I was dealing with, then put the phone down and hold on. So there's that. Um, But yeah, it's been a little bit. We're gonna start every Sunday. I'm gonna like try to post them a week ahead each. So each Sunday when I get done with the live, then we'll do. Then I'll post one for the following Sunday, which will be garden lives, and that will just be me like showing you updates in the yard or the garden. Things are starting to ripen, and there's still some things growing. So we still have a lot to watch, and a lot to experience before we, of course, winter comes and dives in. But so I'm really excited about that. And then I'm gonna try to do 2 weekly lives, Tuesday, Thursday nights. I might do one of those during the day and then one a really late evening one, because it seems like I know a lot of the people that I hang out with, especially in on Leanies, and that a lot of our closest friends are all night owls, and then there's other people from other countries that are up, that's their time a day earlier in the day. So I've had a lot of people, it seems like, come on, and I've had like more audience in the middle of the night, late at night, or early in the morning than ever. So I want to make sure I'm trying to catch everybody, because everyone's got different lives and schedules. We all live in different places and do different things. So that being said, that's why I'm going to do 3 lives. One will be garden updates and things like that. And then the other 2 will be talking about vacation trips, upcoming events, and just hanging out with y'all and chilling, laughing. Hopefully, I'm going to get PCT over to do some trivia with me, which you know how great goofy we both are. So that's always interesting. But yeah, and so I want to wait for a few more people to come in, and then that way we can go on a little tour here. I always try to wait for 10 or 15 minutes. Give everybody a chance. I did post this 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. Totally not realizing that because the weekend went so fast, it was already Sunday, y'all. I was still on Saturday, let me tell you. Okay. So, and Bigfoot, did you remember to bring my water when you went inside? The swimming pig with the water bottle? It's actually a swimming pig. It's like a koozie wrapped around a water bottle, and I got it on Pearl Island in the Bahamas on my cruise, and it was the one and only thing I bought other than a drink on that little excursion that I was on, because you got to have probably both water bottle and coffee if you're a coffee drinker, thermals, because all you see on the boat is people all over with drink, and it's smart because you walk through, you have your water bottle, and it was hot as the dickens outside, so I would fill it full of ice all the way, top it with water, and then that would slowly melt down, but you had nice ice cold water all the time, and you needed it if you're walking all over a ship in the heat. So cheers to the swimming pigs in the Bahamas, and I will carry you always. So yeah, it's been an interesting weekend so far. um just been trying to keep up with all the pets, and beta, the beta. You guys, I'm silly right now. Vegas, my beta fish, has a personality out of this world. Like, I never even knew. I've never been a fish person. That fish could be so fascinating, especially this guy. I mean, like, I've had goldfish when I was a kid, not many, but I did that a few times. But I never had, like, Bettas are just different. They're not like a goldfish, okay? They have this personality that's so close to like a domestic pet. It's so bizarre. And he does like these really fun, cool things. And today I was walking through the house and I added some really cool things in his tank. The last couple weeks, he's had a couple new things added. So I was waiting to see if he would go in it. What it was is it's the SpongeBob SquarePants, the little pineapple house, right? And I didn't know if he'd go in it. There's not a lot of room in his tank, so I didn't want to stick it like down on the bottom because that's where all his plants are. So I set it up above his coconut, which is the first thing I got him. And it's like a coconut shell, right? Like a half shell with a little, space for the fish to go inside. But they like little caves and hidey places. And so I got that on the bottom, and it was a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I set the pineapple on top of it so that it's tilted back enough to where the entrance to it, if it was on the bottom, would be could sink into the rocks more. So this way he's got more room. And I was going in the house to get the cucumbers I just cut for a friend that came for lunch today. And lo and behold, I've been wanting to catch him in there to see if he likes it, right? And as I went by, I looked over for him and he was inside the pineapple, y'all. And I don't know if he saw me peering in to see where he was, but then after I moved back a little ways, he was doing somersaults in there and having a ball. And I was like, that made my heart feel so good that he loves his space. Um, so he's a really special, let me tell you. And then Turbo the snail, they're the perfect pair. I mean, he loves the snail, his snail friend, and the snail is an amazing cleaner. He's kept the tank in excellent shape. Just that one little snail, and my stepson, he named him Turbo. We kept trying to figure out a name for him, and what we realized is that this snail, you could see him here. You could go away for 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe more, come back, and that snail is like in a whole nother area. He's fast, and I've never got to catch him actually moving across from one thing to another. But it's interesting. One of these days I will. I'll see him. I'm gonna put a live camera on the tank and then and do light on it and then do some pre-recorded videos of that to catch some really cool things, because you catch a lot of things. Like even my dogs have done some amazing things over the years. I've never had a chance most of those times to catch a camera, get a video of it. There's just no time. It just happens so quick, and you laugh about it. But, yeah. So yeah. Um, but I probably should have sent out a few more notices. Sometimes I'll do that, like with, people I know personally. I'll send them personal messages and like the link. I did call my daughter ahead, and she's with her twin brother, and they're probably, I don't know, probably eating dinner, doing some kind of video gaming or something. So they're, not paying attention. But I told her, it says, you can come in and check out stuff. And of course, she's here all the time, almost every day. So she knows everything that's going on around here, what's new, what's not. But it's pretty cool. So I am going to start walking around and showing everybody what we got going on here. Hold on 1 minute. I think what I'm going to do is pop on here into Messenger real quick and to go. I don't know, Messenger's annoying sometimes. That's all I got to say. Especially like if I, don't have them scheduled like days and days ahead. So that's why I want to, like I said, just everybody plan on Sundays. Not an exact time frame figured out just yet, but I'm going to say like afternoons, probably later afternoons. Try to get it between lunch and dinner so I'm not interrupting anybody's dinner time. And that way people will know ahead. And so it's going to be easier for people to catch my lives if they are notified and already know the schedule. So I'm going to get on strict on myself to make sure I get this done. I'll probably even work on it tonight later, getting like posts ahead. I got to sit down and figure out, exactly what my content will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I want to try to do something fun game wise, something, we can all have fun doing on one night, and another night do like panel and just hang out and chat, listen to music. I don't know, talk about wild stories, things that have happened, what you've done recently, any new ideas, projects, big trips coming up, anything you want to talk about. Talk about any of it. Tend to try to stay away from politics. Like a lot of the people I know, other creators, we all try to stay away from that as much as we can because that's a real personal, independent, choice of everybody's, and we all have different ways of viewing it. And of course, a lot of us agree on a lot of it, and some of us don't. And we're on here to have a good time and be positive. And so there's not a whole lot of positivity in all that. There are some things that are very positive that are getting better, so that's good. But in that sense, we have enough to talk about in our own personal lives. So why give any attention to what's already all over the news, right? That's what I say. Wow, right now a Slurpee or a slushy would be so good, y'all. I'm so thirsty. And I was noticing how much they've charged for StreamYard now, and I'm like, that's another reason why I really like get my use out of it. Have panels, do all that fun stuff, because that's what you're paying for, is to have all that. Otherwise, if you're not going to go live a lot, when I wasn't for a long time because I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, during that time, I should have just changed my plan down a little bit, adjusted. I've been going through like everything, bills and different stuff, and making sure that we're not paying too much for certain things, reconstructing different, looking at car insurance again, trying to do those things to make some cuts and stuff, because I'm trying to get our living expenses budgeted down as much as possible, because the less you pay for all that, the more money there is to enjoy some of life here and there. Now, I didn't make the announcement recently, I don't believe, because like I said, the summer was very busy, very, very busy here. But I do have another cruise coming up, and it will be in October, the 11th through the 18th, although financially I've kind of had a couple like major issues that have happened, like unexpected things in the last few months that have kind of got me a little concerned about trying to still go. It was supposed to be a mother-daughter cruise. My daughter's had a lot of stuff going on too and has little ones, so I'm really not sure. I called to find out what would happen if I moved it up to a later date so I could get kind of things straightened out. And basically she said, well, the $200 deposit, I would lose that, and then I would just have to pay it again to make a new reservation, which sucks. But I'm really hoping that things turn around a little bit and I can still go. I don't want to have to change it, but what I'm going to have to do is, if my daughter can't go, then I'm going to be stuck like the last cruise, trying to find somebody to take that other spot. And a lot of my kids, like everybody's got jobs and they're working and they just don't have the time off, for it's basically 9 days, because the cruise is 7 days, Western Caribbean, but I go a day before and I come home a day after the cruise. So the total gone time is 9 days. And yeah, I really want to go. I really want to go. I want to still be able to go on the dates, but I think that I don't know. Like I said, my daughter's been too busy and we haven't been able to chat. Kind of makes me nervous. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I look for somebody to take that spot now, because last time it was last minute and I couldn't find anybody. So, but I mean, who wouldn't want to go on a cruise that basically all you'd have to pay for is your ticket to get to the port, which is in um, Galveston, and the flights all go into Houston, and then they have shuttles and different ways of transport to get down to the port. But I prefer to. I have a wonderful, amazing best friend that lives close by and was amazing and came and picked me up last time, gave me a ride down to the port. We stayed overnight, hung out across the ocean beach. We were like right on the ocean and had a really great time. And then she took me to the boat the next day, but it was our first time getting to meet in person. And we'd known each other, like, I think it was about 2 years at that point. And we'd talk every day on the phone. Every single day, there hasn't been a day that I think anybody's missed a call or a talk. If it was never more than one. And so I'm really excited about getting to see her again. And that's like the best part too, is getting in. It was like a more than just a cruise. It was the first time meeting a really good friend and getting to have that space. Even though it was just 24 hours, it was amazing. Like, it was really exciting. And we went live and we laughed and giggled as we walked down this pier, and all we could smell was fish. It was crazy wild, but we had a really good time. And I don't think I ever laughed for 45 minutes or an hour in my life, but a few times in my life. So that was really great fun. And yeah, so we don't have many chattas. Oh, there's Becca, my Becca. I'm sorry, my thing didn't move, sweetie. Yeah, exactly. No, my thing wasn't moving for me. It has this weird message. Oh, you know what's happened? It's because I wrote a message into the thing and I forgot to push post. So it was blocking my chat. I'm sorry, sweetie. It's one of those days, right? It just is. So we're trying to get one of our fountains to work, and it's been on, like, I think it's on strike. The fish, I think he just said, I've worked for you all these days. Now I'm going to take a break. And we don't know what's wrong with him, but yeah, what can you do? Oh, that looks so cool. So what we did was we had taken this tub that I bought just for one of my fountains to sit in. And I don't know what we were thinking, but it had rained a few times. And then, weirdly enough, some algae started growing in it. And someone had said, oh, you should get an algae eater, like a placotomus, to put in there. And I'm like, okay, we'll do that. That's kind of a neat idea. But I also knew that they have to be certain ones. If they're going to be in a bunch of algae or a pond-like environment, they need to be a koi type that can be in a pond. And then there's the aquarium suckers, algae eaters. He wasn't meant to go in that mess that we had in there. I'd put rocks in there, I'd put driftwood, a plant, but there's just too much algae. And we didn't have the filter in it the first couple days. We finally got one because I got worried. And well, long story short, he'd been in there for a little bit. We hadn't been seeing him. And you couldn't really see him anyway because the tub was like turquoise. So we couldn't, it was really a bad situation, okay? And so I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, why didn't we just use a clear plastic tote? Because then we could have seen him and everything, right? So one of the first things I'm going to show you guys is this cool little thing we got set up because he ended up passing away. We cleaned that out because we were going to put him in a better environment, and well, he didn't make it. So I think I have I'm a little I feel bad that we killed him basically because he went from that environment at the pet store to something that he wasn't ready for. So we'll never do that again. So we got everything fixed and changed up. And now, of course, we'll have to go we're not going to get another one of those. So we're going to just go with a couple snails and a couple little goldfish is all we really need. But anyway, let me turn my camera on here. Okay, come on. Yes, that's what I want you to do. There we go. There we go. All right, so anyway, so here we go. So I got this big clear plastic tote you can see through. See everything in there, which would have been great because we could have seen him. I got a filter in here. I hope it's running. Yeah, it is. I just can't see that. It doesn't have anything down there other than rocks, so it doesn't move the rocks. So before it was hitting a plant, and then I got this neat light for the aquarium, which has different colors. Right now it's on a blue. you can kind of put it like it's a submersible light, so it can be in here. We were going to put it over there, but I kind of want direct light across. I could put it down further, or it could even go on the lid and then just face straight down. So there's multiple options. And I did get a heater because they come out of water that's not always heated, but this is an outside thing, so it's going to need a heater. So I have a heater for it. We don't have that in there yet, but yeah. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Some really neat rocks I cleaned up. A plant that used to be in Vegas's tank when I first started his tank, but wanted all of his stuff is like gone to live plants. I want live plants in his aquarium. They're better for the aquarium, and they keep the nitrate levels well. Now, one of the plants is down in here, but it was a 3-pack I got on Amazon. It's way down in there. Let me move these. It was in that algae mess, and it wasn't looking good, so I cut a lot of it down. It'll grow back. So there's that. That's a live plant. And then these are too. They float, and the roots just kind of float along, but they'll all grow roots, and then the other floaters. So they're also good for your tank too. All right, and so I treated this water earlier, and it'll sit. They say at least 24 hours to make sure that that the levels are good. So I had to put the dechlorinator out. It's like a liquid chemical, and it takes the chlorine, I guess, out of the water that basically is in there because we have chlorine in our water. And here's our other fountain, which is the tub fountain. Now that's where he ended up, that fish did. And we had put rocks in the bottom and everything, and I think, I would say nitrate levels that did it because it was an unfiltered water at the time. But either way, I mean, I feel bad, but you live and you learn, right? But I think that's pretty cool, guys, especially when you're sitting outside relaxing on the patio. Now, we took a moving cart, and it's a pretty cool one, but it holds a lot of weight, right? And we put a board on it. So it's a solid piece, right? Now, I'm going to stain this and make it look better. I think we might use this and build this up to like a taller stand, I don't know about the tall, and then have a bigger tank on the bottom and then a smaller tank on the top. Because I'm going to upgrade Vegas's tank just before Christmas. He's going to get a big 5-gallon tank, and it's a smart tank. It's really cool. I picked it out on Amazon for him. But so, and then I'll do probably a 10 for the bigger fish community. So it'll be like a stack. It'll be like a bigger aquarium and then the smaller one above it. But I want to lift that up a little, so we'll probably raise that up. And of course, it won't stay in this. We're just going to use this for an outdoor, cool thing to have. And then obviously in the wintertime, we'll move everything inside. So that's the plan with that. Okay. So we got that fountain. Now this is the fish fountain, which you've all seen if you've been on lives with me before. And this one, it has an attitude. The fish is supposed to be spitting this big fountain of water out of it, and it has an attitude. So we don't know why. It may decide to start working before the end of the live, and then I'll come back and show you. But it's pretty wild. I mean, it's my daughter, one of the twins. She thinks this is her water fountain when she comes over. So lucky for her, we put constant fresh water in it, right? Yeah. Now we're gonna get my handy dandy the brand new 2025 version of the bug zapper on Amazon. It's a bug zapper. You've got lighting, so LED lights, and then if you hit it again, it's color changing. So you can put your solid light on. It also helps draw the bugs, and that's nice. Trust me, it's really nice to have those drawn there and not anywhere else, right? Okay, over here is my husband, of course, put something right here where I didn't want it. I don't know why he's a rip. What's this plastic for, love? No, it's okay. Just ended up being right where I was going to show something. You're funny. I love you. Anyway, okay. So here's our patio sign, which I absolutely adore. It says, "Welcome to our patio. Proudly serving whatever you bring. It's always 5 o'clock here, chilling and grilling." And that's what we do. Literally, you guys, that's what we do here. Okay. So here's our little makeshift outdoor kitchen, which is pretty cool. The camper that we bought, we ended up getting this was the fridge that was in it. We bought a bigger one for it to great. So we could put more food in it. So we decided to bring this in here and make it an outdoor fridge. And I found this little, it's like a cart with drawers on it. It moves, and it holds a lot of all your supplies for outdoor cooking. We got our little red solo cup lights out here. But and then here we go. Here's a garden interesting thing. This is stuff that I started back in April, y'all. And these were my original 2 sweet potatoes that I watched something on YouTube, and they said, well, lay them in a pan or whatever, whatever you want to put them in. Even I could have been a clear plastic tote. I was going to do that, and I wish I would have now because they would have had more dirt. But anyway, you lay them on your side and you bury the ends of the sweet potato, and they will eventually start growing plants, which are slips. And these pieces here get cut down, and you put them in water, like yellow right here. These are off a taller plant. And here's all my little tiny ones. Look at those. But all those roots right there, right? So you fill them up with water, and when they root, they're ready to be planted in the soil. And then that becomes a huge plant, and you'll have a bag full or a ground full of sweet potatoes within 3 months. So that's what this is, this process. And this has been alive producing all of this for literally, 5 months now? It's amazing to me. It's just amazing to me. So that's pretty cool. So that was one of the things I did as a sample and found out, hey, this is amazing because this shit works. I would say sweet potatoes have to be up there with superfoods because of how much they reproduce. They say one potato can produce over 100 slips, which I would agree with that, but plus more, you guys, for real. All right, right here, this big doodad here is our folding table that used to comprise of a top that was, I'm sure you all know what laminate is, which is that fake wood pressed and then it's laminate on top. So it got ruined being outside because it was like a folding camping table. And I'm like, oh shit, well, let's take it off and put real wood on it. So my husband went and he had a piece left over from another project we did. And I stained it with my the green tea stain, which on a pine piece of wood gives you these different hues. So you get this dark green, and then you get all the pieces of the wood there turns almost like a light, like almost sage green. It's really cool though. Anyway, and then this has got a whole lot of outdoor poly on it to protect this sucker from the rain. So it's layered and covered, but we just put another piece on top, almost the same size, but made it a little bit bigger. And it makes a great place for us to prepare foods from the grill. So from the fridge to the grill to the table to eat. Works pretty good, right? Okay. So we're gonna go around to the front now and go through this cubby here. And so it looks like the hostas finally stopped producing flowers, so hopefully they'll fade away or I'll cut these all off. Anyway, so we've got the Ellie. He's pretty bright. He gets a lot of sun. Here's my outdoor front fountain. I've done a little upgrades on some of this stuff. So reason why, if you've been on here before and you've seen some of this, you'll notice there's some things added in. So I added the peacocks up here. They're planters. I can't tell you how many times they fell down with the windstorms we've had, and I've had to go and pick them up. And so we've got these are all begonias in a pot, and then begonias in each one of the peacocks. So we had so much rain when we had done the mulch in this and redone this whole area. We had to redo it just recently and add more because it had sunk. The tub was down in there good, you know what I mean? Like it was down deep in the ground, and we are like, wow. So that's an antique wash tub with a fountain in it. It just recently got a whole water change, and I put the solution in here in each of these fountains in the water because it helps keep them clear and free of nasty stuff, so you don't have to change water a lot. So there's that in the front. And then over here, we've got another little fountain here. And this one, I don't have it on a spray fountain. It has all these different little ends you can put on it. But it's so windy all the time, especially up front. It literally sprays all the water out of it. And so this was the best. This was one I found that is pretty cool. You know, I can sometimes it'll get really going, it'll really shoot out, but it's water there. So this is a bird bath fountain, basically, is what they call that. But it looks pretty neat at night up against the house like that. So, alrighty. So that's a few new things that we've done around here, and we're gonna go back through here. Anyway, yes, you guys can tell I love LED lights. Okay, all right, here we go. On the other new spot we've done to this fountain, which just turned on for the night, is we just put these lights on tonight, but they're these new LED lights that they came out with, and we've been wanting to put the lights around this water display forever, and they've been sitting, I'm not lying to you, in my house by the door, 2 boxes of them since May or June. Okay, but today we've had a really good day today, and my husband has been looking for a job for a while, and it looks like he might be getting one. And so some really good things are happening. So we've been in a really good mood today. And so let's do this, And so this is what it looks like with the lights going on around it. I think it looks pretty neat because it gives it a little adds to it. At night when this is lit up, it looks neat because of the fountain. But you can the color in the water so far up. The fountain's like 4 feet in there. You can hardly tell. Let me get closer. Can you see that? It's pretty tall. It goes as high as that pallet, the backboard. And then our 2 new pond friends, let me get these guys up here so I can show you these guys, is our ducks. And their names are AJ and Jonathan. They're named after the kiddos. I told them we were naming the ducks after them because it's a boy and a girl, and it just was fitting. But they're our new pond friends. They are new to the pond. They've been here, I think, a couple weeks now. I didn't have them the last time I went live though. So we've got turtle, frog, flamingo, ducks. Yeah, we got them all in here going. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of changing. I moved some flowers around, just to catch the sun different. But yeah, guys, I think that looks pretty wild, huh? Yep, let's give this balloon a little tap here, guys, because there we go. Sometimes the top gets pulled up a little bit, and it needs to be down so that the light comes on. There we go. So there's the hot air balloon up close. It's pretty cool. It's got the little basket, you guys. And then here's another new, I guess we have another new pond friend, but it's a hanging friend. It's a parrot. The parrot is new to the water feature. Little parrot. Beautiful, hanging on his little limb. I'm gonna get another one too. They have another one that I didn't see the 2-pack until after I got him, but they have a green one, which would have been perfect for over there. So yeah, so there's that, and the water feature. And then I'm gonna take you guys back to the garden. I don't have many people in here, but the rewatch always works too, right? I have to rewatch a lot of lives because I miss a lot of stuff. Changing here too. I ended up taking all my little potatoes. I had those big plants. The wind had just destroyed them. And I thought, oh, the potatoes should be done because the baby potatoes I planted, like they said 7 to 10 weeks, and they'd been in there for a while. Well, they didn't produce very many, so that didn't work out very well. I think that at some point, and then these are all the sweet potatoes in all these grow bags right here. But they were like over, like, the leaves up there all over. They were just everywhere. So I trimmed these all down. They'll grow back, but I was like, man, they need to get some sun and some light in there. So that's what those all are. And then this one in here, which is really hard to see. I need my light on back here. Let's see if it'll, hold on. Let me get over here. Get this light to me. This one here was the Bigfoot sweet potato that we called, and it was a huge one. And I had eventually buried it down in here. So this one, yeah. Hopefully these are going to produce a lot of sweet potatoes because that's 4 bags of sweet potatoes, guys. And then we've got cucumbers here, which this side is pretty much done. A lot of them weren't doing very good. And something got on them. bad, and I started doing organic sprays, and I got some fertilizer to try to help them. This side was really slow going, and the bees really got the pollinating going. So we've got a lot growing over here. Just some of them have been ended up weird shapes. This one's a pretty good one right here. Here, come on, light. Yeah, yeah, this one's pretty good size right there. So I was going to give him another day, see how much if he'll come down a little bit more, but they're doing pretty good. I mean, next year I've got this all planned to do different. Trust me, I've learned a lot about how we did this. This planter thing right here was meant to be basically for tomatoes, more or less, or something else. You could use it for cucumbers. It's okay. It's working. But honestly, you guys, this was the one that was meant for cucumbers. It has the arch. And I'm doing vertical growing watermelon vertically on this, you guys. So, yeah, don't mind me. I'm silly. Gotta move my stuff out of the way. Okay. So the watermelon over here, the biggest one, the first one we started is right here. I'd say it's about 2 pounds. Now we've got some boards here for them to rest on so they don't put so much strain on the vines. We got another one over here. Number 2. Got one here, which I got a solo cup supporting it because it's still not up high enough for the vine. And then we have one over there in the dark. You can't see it, but it's over here in the corner. And then I want to say there's some, okay. So itty bitty minuscule right here. Get really close. That's a baby watermelon growing right there. That's how tiny they can be when they start. So where you see flowers, right under flowers, you'll see is where they form. Hey, honey, we need to put some fresh water in the bird bath back here. Here's that one that is getting a good start. And it's got a nice light color to it because I did plant 2 different kinds of watermelon. So that little one over there will be the same kind as this one. So that one there is doing all right. When they get to a certain point, we'll be putting supports on of them. And then we have one back over there in that corner on that board. So that's how we're doing them this time. But next time I'm going to do them way different. Over here, we've got the yellow pear tomatoes that are finally starting to ripen and they're going here. So there's a little, oh, here's one back here that's yellow that you can see. See it? Looks just like a pear. Yeah. They're amazing. They're really cool. And then over here we have our Roma tomatoes, guys. And look how good they're doing. I've got some turning red finally. I got smart and I looked into it and I got some organic fertilizer and started feeding my cucumber plants and the tomato plants with it because it needs them, especially to get them to ripen, to turn color, and to be healthier. So these are doing really, really good. I'm really excited. And then, okay, so me and my daughter had planted some stuff late in the season. It just took us a long time to get this settled. This was supposed to be carrots on this side, and then 2 different kinds of lettuce, romaine and mixed lettuce. We don't know what happened, but I kept looking and looking, and nothing was happening. So I took plastic and wrapped it around this for a couple weeks, and to try to trap the heat in, to give it kind of like greenhouse effect. And then it finally things started popping up. But the only thing that should be in here right now, y'all, is these carrots on this square right here, because this spot right here was just carrots. And we've got this other plant going here, which I'm thinking the seeds somehow got moved from over here, and one of them went over here, because this looks like, I don't know, mixed lettuce, or I don't know what it's going on with that. But anyway, however that got here, I don't know. And then down here at this end, it looks like we've got one itty bitty thing starting up here. So I don't know. Like I said, it's not what I expected. I was expecting them to take off, and I think I should have greenhoused them right from the beginning. It looks like the marigolds are having a really rough time on this flower box on this end. Yeah, they're having a rough time. These ones aren't doing too bad up front here, but they really, they can't have tons of sun because it burns them out really fast. And then, I have to try to remember to water all this stuff, and I'm telling you, it's so hard to remember. Let's see what needs water, what doesn't. I can tell these do. And I just watered all this last night. These ones, so. I would say a couple days ago they looked even better than that. But so yeah, and this one over here is the same way. The hanging basket marigolds. I mean, they're all about gone. And we've had, like I said, a lot of heat, and then suddenly it just got really chilly. And now we're getting our temperatures back up. But yeah, there's a thing right there. What's that? Oh, here, I might need to switch it around a little bit. Sorry, we should switch out the old water. We got a bird bath back here, but we try to keep it clean. Once a week, we clean it, fill it up for the birds. My neighbor's got one over there. Hers is inside of, well, you can't hardly see anything out here, inside of some like flowers and stuff, and she's got like plants, and they're up tall, and then the bird bath's hidden in there. It's kind of cool. But they use this one. I had a fountain in it, and I said, you know what? I got to be nice to the birds and give them. There's two bird baths, one in the front of the house, one out here, that have no fountains in them. They're all for the birds. So I try to share. And then up here, which is going to be hard to see with this light, I should have done this earlier. Showed you guys earlier. That light is so bright on the camera. I'm trying to figure out how to show the sign without that being so bright. Oh, wow. Hey, Corey. We might need a different light because you can't see the sign that we made with that light on it so bright against my camera. um, but yeah, so let me see if I can get up under the light. So me and the kids, we took a board and with the same green painted that, and then we took some silver metallic paint, and it says Silver Garden. Yeah, we started over a little too far this way, and then we had to really push the garden word in. But hey, it was me and the kids' first time trying to do this, and it was kind of like a quick thing we were trying to do. And then I went ahead and had them draw some vines and stuff around it, for decoration. But at the very top there, can't see. This is so bright. Yeah, I'll have to show it during the day. But everybody initialed the top. The whole family initialed the top. So all our initials at the top. And yeah, so that's what's going on back here. So here's the garden. Like if I stand back from it, it's a pallet garden, you guys. We've got pallets. Everything's on pallets all the way around. Because this only spot that actual dirt was dug up and there was ever gardens or anything in the ground was back here. But everything has to be a raised bed. It can't be in the ground. So we put everything above the ground and added some mulch on the sides to kind of fill it in. It's not helping the weeds that much, but it's helping a little, I guess. Shit grows where it wants to grow. That's all I can say. And but yeah, I'll have to show you all that sign during the day. It's a lot easier to see it. But I'm just hoping everything will stay good because I was almost about ready to go online and buy like a greenhouse, one of those bigger greenhouse things, and set it up on top of this whole big pallet area, and then just put the important stuff that I still want to grow a little longer in there, and I might be able to get a little bit more watermelons and cucumbers, y'all, but maybe even more tomatoes if I did that. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes to get really cold, because my thing is with watermelons, they like the warmth and they like a lot of water, and it hasn't been all that warm at night sometimes. So I'm kind of worried, but I don't know. And then this one, which was my single plant, you can't even see it, it's too dark, but I had it up front and it produced one ginormous cucumber, and that was it. It had started two little ones and they both died off. I think they were getting infested by the ants up there up front, and it was upsetting to say the least, because these leaves turned out like even bigger and crazier, like way bigger. This leaf is than the leaves on these cucumber plants. And this was the only difference is when I did this one, I had this organic stuff that I put in, this starter stuff, and I think it grew the leaves like massive. They were all really big. I took them all off that they were eaten up really bad, and I left the one, but I don't know if that'll produce anything else. I'm silly, I know. At least I'll be able to see when I get up this way, you guys. And then the shed, what I do like, see, it's on the front and the back of the shed, so we can see where we're going in the yard. But The one back there is so close to that sign, it like blurred me. I couldn't even see. I was like, oh my God, that's so bright. Yeah, so pretty cool. We're lit up around here. There's lights everywhere, and I like it like that. It reminds me of Vegas, a special place in the middle of the desert, you guys. So I'm going to sit down with y'all. I'm going to hang out. I'm probably going to run in a minute and put some pants on before the mosquitoes decide that they want to eat me for dinner, because I've been doing it all summer long. So, you know, so far I've only had just Becca in my chat. I think nobody got my my call outs. But it's all right. I used to watch shows and I didn't like chat necessarily all the time either. You know, sometimes I would just watch. But it looks pretty cool though with the way the lights are doing that. That's like cool as hell. You can see it from over here, you guys. The way it changes and the lights like run around. That is so cool. It totally reminds me of some weird stuff in Vegas. Like everything in Vegas is lights, waterfalls, things. Just everything is just, yeah, it's wild. You didn't share the second pecan cluster there, Mr. Bigfoot. I saw you. Yeah, it was a 3-pack. That means 1.5 a piece, man. Thank you, Becky. You are so sweet. I appreciate you so much being there for me and coming in even when you don't feel good and you have your own things to do. You haven't got to come see me here at my home yet, so this is as close as I can bring you to it, you know? What do you think of this? Doesn't that look cool, hon? I got the light on inside there for the aquarium, and I have the filter running, trying to get it all so I don't kill any more fish, y'all. That was upsetting. My husband is measuring from where he's standing to the top of a tree branch, y'all. I have no clue what he's doing. I wish you guys could see what I can see because it's really bizarre. In fact, I think Chris being silly. The hell are you doing, bro? Don't let that thing smack you, man. Last time I tried to let. Oh, got you for the tree. Yeah. We're going to do that live too, guys. I'm going to take you guys live when my son and husband attempt to branch by branch disassemble a lot of this tree. Because when that shit gets cold, it's all breaking off every time storm. It's all over the yard. One time, y'all, I found bark in almost every plant. Everything that was around that had any bucket to it had tree bark in it. So yeah, we have lights everywhere, guys. I think I should probably put the bug zapper up in the air instead of on the table, because what I've noticed is when you put it by you, yeah, I think that's a little too close for comfort with the bugs. They'd be trying to get me. I can hear, but I can have my husband turn on the porch light in a minute, and I can show you guys how the palm tree's doing. It was one of the first things I got when I started the whole water feature, and before we had the back of the water feature on, we just had the bottom piece, and the pool I had it sitting out there behind it, and then didn't realize that it was more of an indoor plant. It can be out in the sun, but you don't want it in the sun all the time. So this awning is perfect for pulling indoor plants that you have outside inside and underneath something so they don't get too much sun. It just works great. And then I just had added I need a light. Hey, sweetie, I need a light over here. Another light so I can. Oh, I got the perfect light. What am I looking? Shoot, you guys, my sensor light. Sensor light, perfect. Here we go. Let's go where we can see. Shoot. And here we go. Okay, so here's the palm tree. Now, when I got it, it was itty bitty. Now, I had to also do a lot of research to learn how to trim my palm, because every single plant that I got, the whole reason why I was having trouble with stuff after a while was because I didn't know about pruning. I didn't know about picking dead pieces of your plants off. It's all a learning curve for me because it's my first time ever really doing all this. And so this is my majestic palm. Now I have, as you can see right here, trimmed off different parts of it at times that were in bad shape, but they get new palms all the time, where there'll be like a piece, like right here's one starting right here, and they'll open up, and then they'll be brand new plants, just like flowers that rebloom and rebloom. Now there is one palm on here that does have some rough ends on it. My son asked me today if I was going to trim them off. I said, well, with a palm, you don't do that. You just remove that palm. You just remove that piece and it'll grow more. So anyway, the new feature is, well, we have Mr. Monkey hanging there too. He's hanging on a rope. I got a plant stand with hidden wheels so that this monkey is heavy, right? So it can be moved easily. And this will be an indoor plant during the winter, so I needed something to have it in the house where I can move it around. So I got that and put underneath it. And you guys, when I say that it barely fit, it literally is the exact same diameter as what I bought. It's crazy. So that fit. So that was cool. So it's a sensor light that literally comes on and off when you need it to. I always forget I have it over there magnetized to the refrigerator. I have it on so that when you come out here, you can see to get in the kitchen area. There's two light settings. There's the bright LED, the cool, and then the warm LED. What did I do? Let me put it on the fridge like that. It's magnet. It has a magnet. And then I have these in a lot of places in the house. I have them in a couple closets. I have a shelf in our bathroom that sits above our sink, and so I have that up underneath there so that when you walk in and go to touch the sink or turn it on, the light automatically comes on above your right where you need it. So I really like this. I prefer the warm LED setting to the cool because the cool is so bright. And it also goes with the warmer lights that are on the solo cup lights. Yeah. So it's nice sitting out here at night or during the day or anytime, but everybody in the family comes over and here and there at different times, and we all just sit here and chill with the fountains going and all that. It's good stuff. My hand, I'm trying to get something in the picture. I have a stand that you guys actually need to get and bring it out here. It's a stand that automatically rotates when you move the camera or something moves. I think would be really cool because it would really help me live and I'm by myself. I don't have any extra hands. When my daughter was here summer, she's young and they love all the devices and stuff. So you can always get them to chip in on holding something. And I said, "Uh-oh," about the bugs zapper, and then it clicked me off. You're roboting, yeah. I don't know what was going on. Now, see, this time I took my Wi-Fi off since I'm outside of the house, and I have it just on my 5G. So I was hoping that would help the issue, so that my 5G wasn't trying to compete with my Wi-Fi. Because sometimes I forget that when you're on both, it does that. So I don't know where nobody's here back up but me and you, honey. It's just us. I told all the girls and multiple people that everybody must be busy. Wow, that's wild. The nice thing about those lights around there is they run by remote. So I can turn them off and I don't have to unplug stuff over and over and over. because they have a USB end. So I had to take one of those old plugs, our original ones that had the wall plug with the USB end, and plug it into the extension cord and plug the USB into it. That's how I did that. So, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, don't it, Becca? It definitely looks better than just having, like, it kind of overtakes the light show that's going on in the pool, but it's whatever. And you can turn one off and leave the other on, but some of the lights along that side, we had to put them like down along and around the wood. So that's why on the front, I ran them up over the rocks in front of the pool. It was pretty easy to put those on there though, because they're really thin. They're like micro, small, like LED lights, but they're pretty dang bright. I remember back in the day, I always just bought all the rope lights, and I can't find regular lights anymore, guys. They only have the versions. Like, I would have to get them in a store where they still have the old lights. Because on Amazon, everything's the newer stuff. They upgrade stuff all the time and change it. So I always thought about putting something like on the back above the pool, but we realized that if we stuck anything there, it'd have to be completely waterproof because a lot of water hits the back wall of that. And we did triple coat the heck out of it with clear coat. But what we realized is we need to use a really durable outdoor stain, and so we have a clear coat. And so when we take everything down for the summer, then we're gonna hook that up. We're gonna clear coat that whole thing and get it all nice and sealed. See if we can't get it through the winter. It's gonna be rough on it over the winter, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not something we have to do every year because we did use pallets to build it. But they're holding good. I mean, the nice thing about it is there's cracks, little tiny cracks in between all the pallet wood, so it breathes, and water can seep through it. And also around the edges of where we put the sideboards, there's little creases. We left little cracks for water to run off, and so um, it should be okay in the wintertime. You know, I was thinking about doing something really cool and doing like a Christmas display on that sucker, putting like a big old tree and some Christmas stuff out there. That way I could use it year round, keep the lights on, and then just, yeah, I'll have to get one of those waterproof things that you put around your outdoor cords, to protect all your the electrical parts. But those are easy. Those are not hard to find. They have them everywhere. Oh my goodness, it's so dark. It's like really dark out here. That's usually really bright. There's the brightest spot in the whole area. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. I was gonna go. We got to go in and out Vegas and stuff because Vegas is the big fish, and he's got some pretty neat upgrades to his tank, and he's really excited about them. He's been a happy fish. He got a new plant, two new plants, and this past week it was funny because before I got the plants put in the pot, he was going and swimming, and he was laying and sitting and resting inside that little flower pot thing in his aquarium, almost like he was saying, "Mom, where's my plants?" So funny. So I got him in there, and then added a couple little things, moved some things around for him a little bit, and then yeah, he really loves it. Today I caught him inside of his new pineapple house thing. It's like a little hideout cave thing, but he really loves it. I don't think he can fit through the little like window holes in it. That would be more for like tinier fish. At least he can fit in the main door. In a minute, I'll probably go and put Milo in another room because he's the one that does all the barking when I try to. The other two, they get excited for a minute when I walk in if I've been out here for a while, and I just have to calm them down. So sometimes when I mute suddenly, that's why, because they can get loud. I'm telling you, it's like wow. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm streaming on here and Facebook too. I'm doing the light show thing. In one like frame right here, I can catch two fountains. They're like diagonal from each other. So, oh my goodness, mosquitoes are weird. It's like during the day the flies bother us, and then there's this certain time of the evening when all the mosquitoes come out from I don't know where, and you can't see any of them, but they eat you alive. And then somewhere really late in the middle of the night, you can come out here and not get bothered by any insects. It's just weird. The whole thing. I'm trying to figure out where I can set my phone up for a minute. Y'all can see the fountain lights while I run in the house real quick and try to put pants on so I don't get eaten. They're literally like trying to eat me alive. Yeah. I probably should have put up a manual on my induction. Usually I'll do that too because then people know, but I have it in the description for what the live's about. I put open panel if anybody wanted to come hang out, chit chat or something. I should probably put my StreamYard thing in here. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? I always got to try to remember how to do it. 'Cause I don't do it hardly ever. Let me look here. Settings. Guests. Mm-mm-mm. No, that's not what I need. You know, there's all these different settings in here, and it's just crazy. StreamYard, invite guests to be in the beginning of the thingy. Right here, it's this button, invite guests. Ah, there it is. Imagine that you found it, Miss Lady. Okay. All right, now let me post it here. There we go. I think I did it. Oh, look, I did it. It's a miracle. I know, ants and mosquitoes, you're definitely 100% because that's what I've been dealing with all summer. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Oh, guys. The light show on these solar fountains are pretty cool, though. And they do it all on their own, you know. At a certain time, dusk comes, every single solar thing out here turns on by itself. It's so amazing. I hate anything that plugs in. Too much work, you know. Sensor lights, anything automatic that I can charge. I love it all. There ain't no wind blowing, so the ducks and everything are just kind of just sitting and chilling. They're in chill mode. So I'm trying to mess with the room, try to figure out all the different things. I think where it kind of just goes around. It's kind of neat. My ones outside, I need to change them. Right there, right now, they're on like a blink, like a slow blink. But I need to figure out like it has a remote, but you always have to go to like where the main sensor is for the remote to change stuff. Which on these would be all over there on the west side of the front of the house where I have the solar panel, so that it gets the most light. Man, 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 oh man, guys. I see Bigfoot in the dark. In the dark. Let me see where he went. Yeah, if there was a, oh my god, I almost walked right into that stump. I have to remember when you come out so far, you take a left. What are you doing? Oh, This thing's really not spitting that much. Surprises me. But yeah, it'll like do this little reflection off the house, but it's not really, of course, checking out the solar thing. Yeah, and my fucking that one plant that I put up here didn't look anything like what it did in the picture. What I wanted. I thought it was going to be more like a blue or a lilac color. Not even close. But yeah, I thought this would be a reasonable starter thing to use, and then eventually, we'll be moving everything inside because it'll get cold. But I have a heater for it, and so before we go get anything, we'll get a heater. But I'll probably get a few more live plants for in here too, just because they're better for the water and everything. But yeah, this isn't really heavy plastic. It has to say number 2 on it, and that's got a lot of water in it. They're not really meant for a lot of water, so I can't have any more water than that in there for sure. I almost should have put a little bit less in, but this is just a temporary situation, you know, and it'll be something else before you know it. I'll come up with some other idea, but it's pretty cool. A little light. Oh, look at that. Now they're solid. Oh, okay. Okay, so Bigfoot went and fixed the things that make them more solid. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, so there's a lot of water in there, so it's kind of bulging, so the lid's not really gonna stay on perfectly, but it, for the most part, stays on, and that gives room for the cords to come out the back right there. See, they just neatly come right out the back, so that works perfect. Um, yeah, I was gonna go in real quick and put some pants on me. Can you take over for a minute? I'll be right back, everybody. I'm gonna try to find a really cool place to set the phone so that at least it's pretty cool. There's a really neat light show that's it's my tabletop solar light, and it sits right on a tabletop, and it has like so it does all these shapes, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, here I come. Alrighty. Took me a minute. Had to find some warm pants. There. Now we got some light. Got another light out here. Got a puck light that works really good. It's like right inside the door, and I always forget it's there. So crazy. We're 1 in 1, guys. 1 in 1, as in one on each channel. One on each platform, I mean. I'm so silly. Yeah, it's really peaceful here at night, guys. All I can hear is crickets. Maybe Bigfoot will get on his phone and actually join us. He's usually on his phone, but it's not to join us. He likes his videos. Bigfoots, I see you through the curtains. That guy is the only one been hanging out with me this whole time. Yeah. Where's the family support, man? Like they say. You want to jump in the car and go around the block, and that has what to do with coming on? Oh, well, come in for a minute and say hi. Maybe if you come in, more people come in. Be like, oh, Bigfoot's in there. Just kidding. That's funny. It's bright out here. I know, right? I may be asleep when you come back. Listen to you. Okay. Uh, when did I say that? Right after that. Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was less than. It was about 5 minutes. I think it's a pretty quick break, eh? Let's see if we can see the swing pig. No, can't see him. Nope. Too bright. He's too light. He's pink. He's too pink, guys. He's too pink. I'll sit there. I guess we can go in. Maybe the dogs won't bark, and I can guys go in and we can spend some time with Vegas here. I was hoping more people would come in and check it out because he's a trip. I went in, dogs didn't bark at me. It was a miracle. We're gonna have to go in and put ourselves on the charger. So when we go in to do that, we will see Mr. Vegas. He'd love for you guys to see his new plants, his new little caves. He's got a coconut and a pineapple. I found out they have live aquarium plants that are like a palm. And that would like fit his whole thing. So when I get him a bigger tank for Christmas, I'm gonna get him one of those plants. It'll be really cool. And I'll have the coconut and the pineapple. It'll all be set up way better because it'll be a lot bigger and rectangle. I'll have a lot more space. It'll be easier for me to get in it. I'm getting him a smart tank. It's pretty badass on Amazon. It's got like purple filter system in it. Has it's all censored, so it runs the way it needs to run. And basically, the filter system in it is set up way better than in that little tank because everything's kind of like out of the way and doesn't take up a lot of the tank. And then it has a place where you can take to empty your water out when you're changing your water and stuff, and clean your tank out. And it has this piece that comes out, and you're able to like move it, and then like it pulls the water out. It's really neat. So anything that's easier to use is better for me. That snail does a great job at keeping the tank clean, and then it's time for me to change filters. Again, I got a 3-pack on Amazon, and it was crazy because it takes 2 filters at a time. So selling it. No, actually, I got the first round at the actual pet store because it's where I got the tank at, and it was just easier to get them there. But yeah, it was weird because most tanks it's just one filter, but that one takes two, and so I only have one more, so I'll probably change the one that's in the worst shape and then get another 3-pack, and then I'll have the right sets, if that makes sense, right? See that light over there in the kitchen came on. Probably just from movement, you know. It's the sensor is pretty depending on which way you turn it and face it. Is out this way, it turns on a lot quicker than when I have it flipped the other direction and the sensor is closer to the deck. So that's interesting. But yeah, 36. That's where we're at. I wish it was 36 viewers, but 36% on the battery life. Time to go and check out what Vegas is up to. The dogs are barking. Right when I said they might be good so I can go in and show the fish without the dogs barking. But either way, I can show with being muted because visual is better than visual with barking in the background. So when I go in, I will mute so that we don't have broken eardrums here. The dogs react to every noise. If we shut doors out here, or neighbors slam a door or trunk, anything like that, it gets them stirred up. I don't know why. So silly. Oh, there's a bug in the bug zapper zapping away. One day that thing was like smoking. There was a bug in there and we had to shut it off just to get it to stop because it was frying that bug to death. It was terrible. Especially if a lightning bug gets in there. It takes a long time for them they pop around in there a lot. I wish they wouldn't fly in there because I like lightning bugs, but it's the mosquitoes I can't stand. Look at this. Becca, how's the sound? Another friend of mine said the sound's a little monetization. I'll go back on my regular Wi-Fi and see if that will help. See if it'll let me do that. Sometimes it's a lot of fun trying to get a phone to do what you want it to. Okay, we're gonna go in real quick. Check out Vegas. See what he's up to. So I'm gonna mute for a minute so that we don't have to hear the loud noise. Where is my mute button? Okay, we're in here. And Vegas is right now, he seems to be napping in his new plant. He loves his new leaves. This is how he sleeps. Let me get over here. Right there in his plant. He's just chilling. It's funny how they can just float and be really still like that. There he is from the other side. He's so funny. Okay, that's good. So here's his coconut cave down here. And then we've got the pineapple back there. And he was in there swimming earlier. It was so funny. But yeah, he's taking a little nap. Let me see if I can find Turbo the snail. He gets his way around here pretty good. I always have to look for him. Where'd you go? Where are you, Turbo? Oh, look, he knows where. Yeah, he saw me. He's like, oh, what are you doing? Where is the snail? He could be anywhere in here. He gets around quick. Oh, I think he's back behind this plant leaf. Right in there. I think he's right in there. Yep, there he is, right down there. You can barely see the tip of him, but he's right. Oh, let me get down. Right under the leaf. I don't know. He's a funny one. He was on top of the coconut. I could see him. Hey, buddy. You say hi to everybody? Are you waving? He's happy. Can't wait to get him a different tank too, where they have the different light settings and stuff, and you can put like moonlight on. You can have regular light, different kinds of LED colors. These single ones, but this one just comes with like a regular white LED like light on the top, and it's so bright. Here, I'll open the top, and here I got all these floating plants that are floating on top. Yeah, and so those are wild. Hi, buddy. Hi, how you doing? Time I say that, one of the dogs will come over and be like, "Are you calling me? What you doing, buddy?" He's funny. He's excited though. He likes his tank. It's a 4 gallon, and I'm gonna get him a bigger one that's more rectangular shaped, so we have more space. But he loves his little home. He said, "I'll be good for a little while, and then you get me a big one." But he likes it. So this plant over here is a live aquarium plant, and then there's 2 of them in this pot right here, and those are live aquarium plants. His only fake ones is that kind of reddish color back there, and I just got that because it was a good deal on Amazon, and the color was really nice and bright, and he likes to swim through those. So here he is. He's funny, but yeah, he swims all up inside these plants, and he sleeps inside of them. Got him going up underneath there. Look at him. He's playing peekaboo. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, buddy. You're playing peekaboo, aren't you? Yeah. I'm a beautiful fish. That's why my name is Vegas. I'm all different colors. He's so funny. Now he's gonna go hide. Look, he's hiding up in the plant. See, guys, he plays these games with me. He's funny. He plays hide and seek. But yeah. So, and this is a half moon aquarium. It has a flat back, so the back's completely flat, and then it's moon shaped, so it's like a half moon. So the front comes out rounded in the front. So it was just something that would fit good in the space that I had for now, but we're going to build a nice aquarium stand and have a couple of them. And yeah, this will be cool. I got him this little barrel too, but I think it's a little too small for him. I don't think he can fit in this. So I'll probably put this in that other aquarium over there, because we're going to put a few goldfish in that and like some smaller fish. So I'll probably save that for that. But hi, buddy. Hello. How are you? He's fun to watch, you guys. The first night I got him, I had him out in the kitchen at first before I had a place set up for him, and I watched this fish for like 5 hours. I was so like, he was so cool and interesting. I was like, this is wild. Let's see if he'll come into the view. Where you at, buddy? Oh, he's all the way in the back. See, he's hiding behind all of his roots. So those floating plants, the roots grow down into the tank, and then of course you can trim them and stuff. But they like that, the natural live plants. But they're really good for your water, because they keep the nitrate levels really good in the tank. So that's really good. But yeah, he's got like his nerve system's weird. There's doubles that. And so, yeah. Yeah, it's time for me to change those for sure. So I'll be doing some shopping tomorrow. I got one right here that I can change and put on there, and then take the other one off and change it. And then if we turn off the light to the tank, oh, of course you can't see how much it glows without the other light on, but the whole tank glows. I have glow in the dark rocks down in there. All these little rocks and stuff all glow in the dark. But yeah, it lights up the tank pretty good. So the lighting, like, gives them the glow. The ones that are down inside the coconut, of course, on the bottom, they don't get much light. So it doesn't really. Hey, buddy, it doesn't really do anything. Hi. You showing everybody your plants? You can come over here and go in there. You can go in the pineapple plant. Come on. The pineapple cave. See if it'll come down in front of the screen for me. That'd be cool. Come on, buddy. Come on down here. Come on. Come on. Come on down here. See if I can get him down to the bottom more. Come on. Yeah, he's like, no, I'm gonna swim around. He's getting his exercise. He's hiding. He's so funny. He really loves those plants. When I first started the tank, I started using the sweet potato slips and putting them in there, but they root out so fast that see, he's hiding right back. He's all the way in the back, just chilling. It's like you're showing my hiding place. Let's go over here and put my phone in the charger. Gotta get that done. There we go. Well, you gotta plug the charger in. You want to plug the charge. Somebody had to unplug it. And then I didn't look and I was in a hurry and I plugged it in. And the next thing I knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing isn't even charging. That was disappointing, but at least I found out before it went all the way dead. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get this on track here. Oh, goodness. What a day, guys. It's been a long one. Let's see if I can get my screen to come up as my Wi-Fi on. You know how things are. I'm gonna switch. Give it a second. There we go. There. Put the avatar on for a little bit, and that helps the charge go faster too. But yeah, it's been an interesting day, guys. I was listening to some really good music earlier on my Amazon Echo Dot thing, and it was funny. I was singing to the fish, and he was in there just swimming like he was enjoying the concert. It was hilarious. I was like, wow, this is entertaining. Now, usually in the evening, I save part of my coffee from when I first start my day, where I do my coffee, 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and my coconut creamer that's non-dairy. I'm trying to give my stomach good stuff. Here and there, I'll pop a little honey in there too, because honey's really good for you too. But it has really helped me lose weight and feel good, and a lot of my health issues are starting to really like get better. Um, Simple stuff, but just more stomach things. And it's just been, yeah, I did some research and it's just really good for you. There's so many things that they're good for. And same with apple cider vinegar, same with baking soda. There's like a lot of like things that we have that you'd never know how good they are for you till you like do a little research and find out. And then I always try stuff to see if it's going to work. And well, the coconut oil is a definite 100% like really good stuff. So I'll warm up my coffee and I'll have a little evening coffee. I call it evening coffee. But it gets cooler at night now, so it's a nice little warm up in the evening. I got all these different songs in my head because I was listening to all this music earlier, dancing around the house, getting some exercise, getting the blood moving, much as I can do and being careful with my knee. Now, I'm telling you what, I used to be a hell of a two-stepper, and I can still do it pretty good. I just have to be really careful not to get too aggressive with it because of my knees. But, yeah, it was some good song that came on earlier, and it was a perfect two-step song. So I'm two-stepping all over the house and dancing, and the dogs are looking at me like, what the hell is she doing? That's all right. It's been a pretty decent day, and music always makes me happy. So I always say it soothes your soul, and it really does, especially if you like want to like I don't know enjoy an old memory of when we were younger and music we listened to back in the day. Those are always fun. I put I'm a genie in a bottle on earlier, and I was singing and dancing to that, singing it to my husband. He was just looking at me like I'm so silly. I'm like, dude, I'm putting on a concert for you, man, for free. A free concert at home. You don't even have to leave the house. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some monkeying around and figure out how to get my some of this music uploaded in here to where I can play music when I'm on a break or something. I think there's a way, but I always like end up forgetting try to figure it out. Um, layouts, audio. You know what I mean? Especially like if you're working on stuff beforehand, it's usually easy to figure out. But after the fact, it's a whole different story. Please see, there's music. This is background music. Okay, background music is they have a list, and it's a bunch of really weird stuff like night driving, dance pop, and I'm like, what is this? And I pushed more music to see what all they had, and it's not much more than that. So I was just like, recommended file type and size, add music. So you can add music, but that's what I need to do. I need to work on some of that, get some music added in. That'll really help. And that way, when a person's, not like on and they need going off, sorry, going off for a minute, then they don't have to worry about that, right? It just helps. It says share something. Oh, that's that link thing. Okay. StreamYard and get a $10 discount. Oh. So if anybody wants to use StreamYard, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to post that twice, guys. I just pushed a button. Well, Terry, if you're out there listening still, my dear friend, I have gone back inside, put the phone on the charger, and I'm on the Wi-Fi now. I don't know if that's clearer. And there's always a little weirdness when you're outside, but there really shouldn't be. I mean, as much as they charge for phones and 5G these days, y'all, we shouldn't have any problems with distorted sound, right? Not one bit. I did pull my little baby potatoes, though, y'all. I'll show you those. And there wasn't, like I said, it was kind of disappointing. There were not very many of them turned out. Where's my camera? Here they are. That's all I got. A few of them turned out okay size. They were the baby ones, but I probably should have left the plants a little longer. I just, out of that plant, there was 6 plants, and yeah, some of them weren't even ready. I don't think they had a lot of room to grow in the in the bag. I mean, there should have been plenty of room, but I don't know if the dirt was too, like all the rain we got and it impacted the dirt to where they couldn't move. Because if they can't move around, then they can't grow down in the soil. So you don't get as many potatoes. So that was disappointing. But we'll try things different next year. The stuff that didn't work this year or isn't, doing what it's supposed to, we'll probably rearrange stuff differently next year. I'll probably get a big old greenhouse set up back there and start out in that and keep a lot of it in there during the summer to protect it from the heat and have some of it outside. But I'm always setting up stuff different, so I'll be doing things different next year. I'm just not looking forward to the teardown of all the stuff that we put up because there's a lot of this that has to be put away for the season, and that's a lot of stuff. One day I was sitting out there and I was like, wow, I just thought about this. I brought all this stuff and decked out the whole yard and did the whole cool thing. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got to put all this stuff away for the season too. If I lived somewhere where the season was pretty much the same year round, doing really good. Oh, yeah. Oh, I did show you the little pair of tomatoes. But yeah, those are some of my cucumbers I pulled. Some of them were off that one side that was growing things weird. And by the time I found out about doing I had bought the organic cucumber. It's like a liquid concentrate, and you pour it into a gallon of water, and then you water the plants with it and spray them. And so I did all that, and the other side's starting to really take off. And the tomato plants really started doing good. So at least I know it's helping, but a little late in the season I was with it because I should have been doing it all way sooner. I didn't have any idea that I needed to feed those plants different stuff. You know what I mean? I did the original Miracle Grow with the fertilizer in it and all that. A lot of it says it'll feed up to a certain amount of time, so I thought it would, but I don't know. We also used compost in some of our dirt as the bottom layer, and then did a layer of the topsoil. Next year, I'm doing things way different. I'm going to use rock for the base, and then put the dirt on top so that the roots can breathe and you get less root rot because the rocks filter out all the water away. So that just some really neat things I've learned from some master gardeners and programs I've watched over the summer. So I'll have better ideas of how to handle things next year. I mean, I would have lost a lot more stuff and had a lot less produce that came about if I hadn't watched what I did though and did some of the stuff that I learned because it helped save a lot of stuff that wasn't doing very good for a while until I had to move things into different places. They need different positions in the sun. Some stuff needs more than less. I think the watermelon would have done better on the side the cucumbers are on, and the cucumbers would have done better on the other side. Um, just all sorts of stuff like that. So I know now what to do next time, and I will. And next year will be my second time doing it, and I'll know a lot more, so it'll be better. But I mean, just seeing food grow and seeing things reproduce I found it to be very enjoyable and fascinating. It was really fun to involve the kids in something that didn't involve screens and distractions and video games. And even though I did a lot of that, I tried as much as I could to get them outside doing projects, building things, planting stuff, picking veggies, just giving them something to be excited about, something they've never done either. So it's our first time together to do something like this. And it was really enjoyable. It really was. Especially when my son would say, oh, I gotta go see the watermelons, and he'd get all excited. I wonder how big they're getting. And it's so nice to come back to reality and back to just good old time at home with family and doing things that are productive and teaching your kids how to grow food and how to build things and how to fix things because it's stuff they need to learn and they don't learn it at school, let me tell you. They do not learn it at school. So we have to be the teachers of the important things in life. Those really important moments. That's our jobs. And I find it to be very rewarding. I was able to get the kids out there there's stuff a lot more than I would have if we didn't have something going on, and like come up with different um, projects to do. Hey, today we're gonna plant this. Tomorrow we're gonna build this. Something to look forward to, something to do and think of, other than how fast can I get back to my tablet or my whatever video games. So yeah. Do 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 do. What are we doing here? Phone's doing good. It's charging fast. These newer phones, I'm telling you, even like mine's not even the newest model at all. It's like a 22 or 23 Galaxy, and it's the batteries do not like to be charged by anything but a C charger, like literally, or really super fast, strong chargers. That's what you really have to use to get them to go. Vegas is like, I showed off my plants, Mom. I got them showed off. He's a lot of fun, though. He's fun to watch. It's therapeutic, I think, in a way, because I never knew you could interact with a fish like that. That they even much, gave you the time of day. But a betta is a completely different fish than a goldfish, y'all. It's completely different, like in every aspect. Like, just yeah. So I'm getting a little bit of a charge on the phone, and then we'll go hang out outside again for a little bit. That's my favorite place to be. I mean, I've literally been outside so much. This is the first time in years that I've been outside in the summer because I try not to get out in the sun too much. I don't know. I'm usually not a big fan of the sun and being hot and feeling gross, but with me, like losing weight and getting in shape and feeling healthier, it's allowed me to do more of that than I used to. And, when you have something to do outside, it makes it more worthwhile. Like go outside, plant stuff, take on something like that in gardening. You're taking on something that you've got to be dedicated to pretty much day and night. I mean, like, there were times when I was forgetting to water at night, and now I know you got to water at night or early in the morning. I'm learning all these things, and I'm 55 years old, and I'm learning all this, these new things that I never indulged in before because, well, I was always just really busy with family and never really put the time into doing something like this. But I realized the importance of it, and it also gives me like the push to go out and have to go do something. I have to do it. So pushing myself to do that then gets me more active. And through doing all that, I've done stuff that I never thought I could do, even especially with my back the way it is and a knee that needs surgery. Sometimes I surprise myself. Now I do pay for it at night when I try to go to sleep and I'm having horrible spasms and nerve pain, and it's a wonderful erratic nightmare every night. But that's why I'm usually up all night long and all hours of the night, because sometimes I'll fall out from just exhaustion, and then I'll wake up a few hours later and my whole clock restarts and I'm ready to go. Then I can't get back to sleep. I can't just go to sleep. My husband can go to sleep standing up, sitting down in the water, hanging off the edge of a cliff. God knows. He could probably sleep anywhere. But I always wonder what it would be like to be able to sleep like that and be comfortable enough to not be in pain and sleep. It would be so great. It really would. But yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get more people in the chat so we could hang out and I could see how everybody's doing out there. But it is Labor Day weekend, so a lot of people have plans and are doing things. We haven't got anything too important planned. I don't know if the kids will come by and hang out and want to grill out tomorrow. More than likely, they will. Um, we do that a lot. We've spent the summer doing a lot of like eating with family, cooking out, treating people to a nice little lunch or dinner in the patio, and it's been great. It has been. We've made lots of good food and ate a lot of watermelon and cantaloupe and all sorts of goodies. I think I think Vegas is like, this could be fun. Are you gonna come back over? Yes, buddy. I'm letting my phone charge, warming up some coffee. Can't get Bigfoot to come in and say hello. He's he's excited. If it wasn't for Labor Day, he'd probably have his second job interview tomorrow. He got a call the other day, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because he's been off work for a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean a long time. Too long. So, yeah, I'm ready for him to get back on a schedule. And that'll also help me with my plans of doing my regular lives and stuff. And so I'm going to check dates, but I'm going to try to, like I said, tonight or tomorrow, start posting, um, lives ahead. So every Sunday at a certain time will be this, and I think 3 a week will be a good start. And hopefully I can pick times when other friends or creators aren't doing something at the same time, because then it's hard. But trust me, back on the day when I would watch several people, if they went on at the same time, I would literally watch them both. I would just go back and forth, so that I was supporting both people. And that always seemed to be a good thing. Oh, I'm sorry, honey, that you have a headache. I hope I don't get another one. I had one so bad the other day, and then I read up that thing about the Himalayan pink salt and putting it under a pinch of it under your tongue. That helps, and that really it did. Like within like 20 minutes, that headache subsided. But prior to that, I had tried so many. Like I tried Tylenol and everything, nothing was working. I usually get really bad headaches because I'm stressing out over something too much, and it's like tension. I mean, tension headache. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious! It feels like this day has been like a long one for some reason. I don't know why. They usually go by really fast, but I felt like it was kind of a long day. Mm. Yeah, I really did hope. I've been doing that every day, doing a pinch of that pink Himalayan salt under the tongue. It's a bit salty, but it dissolves really fast. So it's just like eating a bite of popcorn or a Frito or something, like something salty, or a pretzel or something like that. Speaking of which, I should have made up, taken some pretzels, and I like pretzel sticks. They're a little easier to nibble on than those the pretzel knots. I prefer the sticks over the knots, I believe. Or those pretzel chips. Those are my favorite. When they came out with those, I absolutely adore those. The pretzel chips, those are so good. It's like getting two things in one. It's amazing. Ouch. I don't know what happened to the girls. I thought we'd see them in here. Because I went on at 7:30, so it would have been 8:30 for them. But I don't know. Yeah, what a day. Tomorrow is Monday, which most people don't like Mondays, but at least if it's a holiday and people don't have to go to work, they ain't gonna be hating this Monday. Labor Day is one Monday that I think most people are okay with. Now, there's probably a lot of people in a lot of different jobs, careers that don't get a Labor Day off, but a lot of people do. Can you imagine if everybody everywhere had one day a year off of work? How like chill it would be out around towns and cities, because everybody be at home, well, or somewhere, but not at work, right? Interesting. I've always thought about that. I think there should be one day of the year, and it may be Christmas. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. Where everybody just doesn't have to go to work for one day. You know, everybody deserves that. Let's make the world stop for a minute. Let's slow down. I don't know. I'm just being silly. Sorry, just go back by the fish. It feels later. Yeah, it really does feel later. I agree with that. I just wonder how long it actually takes. The least amount of the less amount of coffee there is. That doesn't sound right either. Well, there's not much coffee in the pot, so it shouldn't take that long to warm it up. That's what I was going to say. But I don't know where I was going with that the first 2 rounds of that. I remember the day that I was trying to put water in the pot, right? And thank God there's an overflow hole in the back of this machine. And I have a light above it, and I had it on, but it was kind of distorted, and I thought there was still room to add a little more. I had poured too much in there, y'all. That shit was pouring out all over, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And thank goodness I have it sitting on this like dry mat. It's like one of those kitchen drying mats for like your dishes. It has coffee cups on it, and I've always had that under my coffee machine, right, in case anything spills or whatever. So thank God for that because it caught the majority of that water. And then really all that came on the floor was when I moved that, but that was another big disaster. I've had like two water messes in the last like month where you're just like, that did not just happen. Like you're just literally standing there like, wow, okay. Yeah, I hate those moments, but we have them, don't we? Okay. I'm going to check that because I'm really. Yeah. Oh, that fucking thing works pretty fast, eh? I can't even see what I'm doing. But I can see steam coming out, so that's a good sign. That means it's warm. Okay. That away. Get this a little shake. Oh yeah, and also always remember when you put your creamer away and you take it back out and you give it a couple shakes before you put it in. Make sure the lid is nice and tight because I've also had a creamer disaster too, where it was just you have to hear the click. If it doesn't click, expect to get covered in coffee or all of the above. That happened. That is. Oh my goodness, y'all. Another thing I love about outdoor cooking is the less amount of dishes that there are because usually we're doing sides. Sometimes I'll do sides in here, but most of the time it's almost all, out there. I think, what do I have in here? All I have is the bowl and the fork that I mixed up the hamburger mixture with when I made patties earlier. I had a really nice friend come over today, known for a long, long time, and we don't get to visit much. And he came up and got to hang out and took him on a little tour of the garden and fountains and stuff. And we had a nice visit. Had some amazing cheeseburgers with bacon cheeseburgers on the grill, and I cut up fresh cucumber out of the garden, and yeah, it was really amazing. It was nice. Of course, the twins were coming. One of them had come to visit just before that, and then my daughter came and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing, Dad?" Because they had gone and got some meat to grill, and they love it when we cook outside and grill. So they were, but they ended up going and eating with the twins had a little gathering today of their own. So I was like, "Well, I got a friend coming over, so if you guys want to come back later and grill, that's cool. But we need a little time here." Special guests coming. Special guests coming. Everyone clear the area. I wonder if people on Facebook there's a chat in that too. I would imagine there would be, right, where they can like chat in there, say hey. I know there is because one of my friends was on there one time and it was the Facebook symbol, and then somebody had said something in there, so that's cool. And my favorite snack, and it's not fattening, is my sandwich slice, or it can be the little chunk pieces. They're called Colossian pickles. They're sold in the store in the cold section. They're not in the regular pickle aisle. And they're amazing pickles. If anybody's ever tried them, they're absolutely amazing. They're my favorite by every means. I did grow some of the cucumbers that I grew were the pickle kind that you can turn into the pickles and do the whole pickle thing. So I got to research how to do that so that I can start making those as well. So I didn't get that figured out this season, but by next year I'll have figured it out. And yeah, and I'm gonna know how to do everything to where everything stays alive and try to keep the diseases down now that I know all the organic tricks and what to spray on what, and I don't have to buy no special like neem oil, which was one of the things that was suggested when I started noticing bug infestations. That was just very depressing to have that happen. Huh. No, I don't. I was thinking I had a longer cord thing, but I don't. Okay, I think I put too much creamer in there, you guys. It's not quite as warm as I'd like it to be. So in that case, we're going to top off with a little bit more warmer coffee. Wow. There we go. That should be just enough. Okay. We'll try that. Okie dokie. I'll take you guys back outside. Okay. Let's see how I can carry multiple things, but I can do this. I've been doing it forever. Yeah, it's pretty dark in here. I keep the lights down because, trust me, the light bill's been sky high from the air conditioning and the heat all winter. But we'll see Vegas one more time before we go outside. Hey, buddy. You're all fanned out. Hey, you. He's like, what are you doing to me, Mom? You showing him my tanky? Yeah, he's got a colorful tank. Right. Alrighty. Right now, go back out this way. Let's see where I'm walking here. I got low lighting in here. It's not completely dark. I got some old orange rope lights for the kitchen. Got a little night light there. Have my salt rock lamp there. We just don't run like a ton of lights, you know, especially after the summer. We had the kiddos here and there was a lot of stuff running. But I could light this whole room up like a Christmas tree if I wanted to. I have lights everywhere. Oh, I know what lights I can show y'all. Pretty cool. I need to clean the filter on my air purifier. But yeah, so this is a what do you call it, office like type cabinet I got, and you can put printers on it and stuff. It's got 2 file cabinet pieces, drawers, big drawers, but this lights up, and then it has like a display cabinet down here. So that's pretty cool. I like it. You can change the light colors, and then eventually off. Or is there a different button for that? There, you just hold it, push and hold. So yeah, and then it has like it has outlets and then USB ports on top of it. So does this desk. It has 1 USB and 3 plugins, and that has 2 and 2. And then this other office dresser thing I got beside it is, we'll have to do all this. I'll have to show you guys this stuff during the day because I'm pretty sure that I changed up a lot of stuff in my living room since we last did a walkthrough. But yeah, and then I got a printer over here, but I had it set up all in a row against the wall so that I could plug in things to different things. And so that's why the fish tank ended up on the desk, because that's the closest place with all the plugins that work really good. Right, Vegas? Right, buddy? You gonna disappear into the plant again? Hmm? What are you doing in there, buddy? He's so funny. Okay, well, we're gonna go back outside. Alright. Phone in one hand, coffee cup in the other, and then open the door. Wee! Whoa, I almost got scared of my own reflection in the door, guys. Aw. We also have a cat that obviously is a stray, somebody abandoned. And he's been coming and visiting all summer since Corey's been out here growing. And his name's Heechee. It's named that because my friend Beachy has black cats, And I didn't know it was a boy at first. Thought it was a girl cat, so we named it Beachy. But my daughter quickly told me that we had the wrong sex, so we named the cat Heechy. There's Heechy, Becca. Hi, Heechy. Do we don't have no tuna for him? I gave him some food. Oh, you gave him some food. Aw, yeah. We try to give him. You get. Where's his water bowl? We need to give him some fresh water. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give the cat some fresh water, guys, real quick. Okay. So we do have a cat that has claimed us, and I guess we've accepted it. Even though we're not cat people, but hey,
still hungry. He's like, hey, you got more?
It's a cat. It's nice. We love it. Try to get water and take care of it, because somebody obviously doesn't want to or left it stranded, and that's just so cruel. I don't know why people are so cruel. Like, how could you leave your animal? That's part of your family. And the cat's so not used to having fresh water, y'all, that he barely will ever drink water. I've given him fresh water every day, and sometimes he drinks it, and sometimes he don't. And it's unfortunate because I would love it to see him, get drinks. But like I said, I got pictures. I'm going to post them on my community page. They're pictures of Heechy walking up the rocks in front of the pool and drinking out of the pool. Now, I don't really want the cat to do that because I do put treatment in there so that water stays clear. And I don't want him drinking it. So when I saw him that day, I was like, no, come here. I'll give you a bowl of water. But it really, look, that's not the only thing that's drank out of my pool this summer. I also had a coon. I'm sitting out here one night, chilling in the awning, just looking over that way, right? And in the dark, this is why I'm glad it's lit up now. It'll keep the coons away. And this doggone, I looked over and I'm like, that is not a cat. It was way too big, right? It was a fucking coon. I'm like, get out of there. And it turned around and looked at me, and that's when I knew it was a coon, right? And it wouldn't, and then it just started drinking again until I stood up, and then it went away. And I was like, okay, I got your number. Bigfoot, go in the chat and say hello. Look, I'm trying to drink my coffee, y'all. I'm trying to take a drink with the fucking lid shut. Have you done that before? I know we all have. Now I don't feel so bad. I'm just kidding. That it's all good. Oh, look at how low that jet is. Where's my fucking camera? Look, guys. Where's it at? Hold on, it's on the trees. Let me show you. Can you hear it? Look at that sucker. You hear it? That was right over our house. That thing's not more than 100 feet in the air. We live just a few miles from the airport, and we're in a turnaround zone. That was wild. I got so much footage of planes taking off and mostly landing. When we were in Vegas, we found this spot where there's at the end of the backside of the airport, and all these planes come in, and they're way low when they come in because they're getting ready. It's like right there, right, and there's a road right there. It about gave me a heart attack when we got in the car up to the light, and one came down right over top of us. I literally was in shock. It was so loud. The whole car was moving. I thought we were doomed. I really did. So we're all lit up tonight, guys. We got this aqua thing going on in here, and hopefully got the filter going. And other than the water's temperature is probably not perfect, but I don't know if I want to put the heater in there right away either. I'll see. I'll have to test the temperature of that. But I got the treatment in. We put the treatment in there earlier. That's the liquid stuff that takes the chlorine out of the water, I believe. Now Vegas's tank is smaller, and I bought him. He's got a freshwater tank, so his tank is completely. The first time around, we had put tap water in and did the whole treatment thing and all that. But this time, the second time, we drained everything out, cleaned it out. We put in fresh water, spring water, And that's why I'm trying to put everything fresh in his tank. Fresh water, live plants. I want him to live as long as he can. He's my favorite friend. For those of you who are watching who just came in, I want to take you over and show you this amazing light water feature, which my fountain just turned off because it's on a timer, which is right there in the middle of all the ducks. But yeah, so and it runs, I want to say 4 hours, and then it's off overnight, and then during the day it pulls the solar, so the fountain runs all day long, and then they only shut off for I think it's 4 hours between daytime and the evening when it lights up again. But I just added these really cool LED lights that we got beginning of summer on sale, and I got 2 sets, and they're 33 feet. They run off a USB, but you can plug that right into a regular USB, port type thing with the end, and then plug it right into your outdoor extension cord. So yeah, it's pretty bright. I like it. Yeah. Bigfoot's here. Good night, Becca. We love you. She's like, hi, Bigfoot. It took him the entire live for him to come on with me. I'm going to whoop my husband. I'm like, dude, you could have been doing lives with me all the time. And if I had a partner in crime to do them with, then he could get up on panel and we could shoot the shit or talk about things. And that way, maybe some dudes would want to come in and hang out and talk to a dude, talk to another dude. What are you over there doing in the grill? No, because you must be making something, and that's what brought the cat to the yard.
Yeah.
My brats bring all the cats to the yard, and it's better than yours. Damn right. Well, this fish in the fountain, on top of the fountain, he's fired. That's all I got to say. I think he's on strike or some shit. He's not going to give me the water that I've expected for him to serve up. And believe it or not, it's the only one that I have that plugs in. You got to plug it in. It runs a pump up through all that. I'm not real happy with it. I wish I had a regular like garden area, like where we could actually put stuff, and have a whole huge garden back there. And then I'd have that out there in that area as the water feature instead of here. I should have just done what I was originally going to do, and I had put all these things in my Amazon cart, and I found all these different things. I was going to build my own fountain, but it was getting more and more expensive the more things I was finding that I had to add to it to make it. So I thought, maybe I'll do that later. And then I was going to do it as a project with the kids, and we got sidetracked and didn't do it. But it's just easier to get these containers that are big enough for a fountain to go in, and they do a light show, and you could add stuff in it. Right now I don't have anything inside the tub or the antique tub out there. They're just the fountains. But I mean, you can put stuff in them. You can put little floaties in there. They have fake fish. They have all sorts of stuff. Originally I was going to get some little fake fish. They had ones that glow in the dark or just regular ones, and some of them even will move. And I was going to get some of those and stick them in the pool. Just just thought it'd be kind of neat. I never did. I ended up just getting the stuff that floats on the water. I thought that'd be better. I was looking more for a pond type look water feature, not so much, um, an aquarium thing. Besides, most people's fish aren't in their pool, right? Trust me, if they allow us to dig in the ground, I would have put a pond in the ground. Y'all better believe it. I would have had a whole ass pond piece because you can buy them. You put them in the ground, and then you put rocks around them, and you build a rock feature, and then you put the waterfall, which is really neat. I've found one, and you put them into the rocks, and then the waterfall comes down and trickles down into the. It's really neat. And then you can do koi goldfish and all that really neat shit. And that stuff can be outside. Like in the winter, you would have to put a cover over it if you lived somewhere cold like this. But someday when I live somewhere where it's warm year round, you better believe I'm going to have a pond. That'll be cool. I don't know if there's very many people with ponds out in the desert, but we'll see.
Of course, it's supposed to keep the water. Land of the lost.
Believe it or not, though, a lot of people have stopped by and commented about what we've done out here. I've gotten lots of like compliments from people around around our neighbors. I've seen people driving by, even making a second lap before to check out, you know, what's going on over here. Because there's not a lot of people that do a lot out here with their shit. We definitely were the ones that didn't ever really do anything. We had hostas around the front of the house. That's all we had. No flowers, no garden, no nothing. This year was our first time. I think we did fairly good, but I don't know. I think everybody needs a quiet place outside the house that they can just go and chill and listen to water trickling and just relaxing zen area. Every family needs one, you know. There's always another place to go and just chill. It can be pretty loud in there with the dogs. And sometimes everybody needs a break from each other or just want to come out here and chill. Try to make it as, peaceful, and we've got plants and water around us, and it feels really cozy. It's a nice place to just sit and chill and vent or relax and listen to a little music. We'll probably have to do my son's birthday is September 8th, my youngest son, and he's gonna be 25. And his it's the same day that my twins are getting their first house together. And so we're going to do this whole moving in thing, but then we need to have a birthday, like a barbecue and a cake and stuff like that. So we're going to try to do it all in like one day. And, but we'll probably have to do the barbecuing and the cake and stuff over here because they're going to be just moving in, and it's going to be chaotic trying to. I know what it's like to move. I wouldn't want to have a barbecue in my yard the same day I'm moving in, unless we just decide to do like pizzas or do something like that. But we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. It's going to be a big thing though for them. They're really excited about it. They've been saving up, and they're gonna like share a house, and one couple will live upstairs, one couple will live down in the basement, have their own privacy, and then over the winter, my youngest son Chris, which is the one that's having the birthday, he has a camper, and his campground is year round. But this year, the city decided they're going to close it down for the winter. So now, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh God, we got to figure out where we're gonna put the camper. And so the kids, with utilities and the rent as high as it is these days, $1,100 a month for a 2-bedroom. Yeah. So my idea was, how about we put Chris's camper behind the house for the winter, and we'll get it all winterized and set up, and that the house will help block off a lot of the wind and weather on the camper, and then he can stay there and pay the same rent to them that he was paying at the campground, and that will help pay their utilities. So it'll work out really good, and then they'll all be pretty close together and have each other, to help each other out when mom's busy. But yeah, it'll be cool. And Chris has been, well, I think he's about 45 miles from here. So he's not real far away, but it'll be nice to have everybody in town again. A lot easier to do get-togethers, and easier on the kids on the gas tanks and stuff, getting to work and not having to pay. My one son lives pretty far from work, but so there's a lot of positive things happening amongst all the chaos. I'm just trying to enjoy all the little tiny positives that come along because there's not many of them, but I definitely gather them up when they come. So it's a it's a good thing to do because there's a lot to be thankful for, but there's a lot to hope for as well all the time in life. Interesting. I need to get my one chair out and then just sit in front of that fountain because it's relaxing. I like light shows. That's one of the reasons why Vegas is so exciting to me because there's so many lights and fountains and water and things going on. And I don't know. I just find it to be interesting and all the palm trees. It's just beautiful. You got to look through all the negative parts of that city and look at the positives of it, which is, just it's fascinating place in the middle of the desert. That's pretty much what it is. Place you can go, have fun, live life a little, and go home and leave it there. I told my husband a long time ago, I said, well, if we ever got divorced, we wouldn't have to worry about really doing it the old fashioned way. I said, because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. This is a little inside joke. Being silly. Everything's just a document, right? You documented that you are somebody's spouse or not. Okay, Becca, I got you. I had to go in and see the fish and see the dogs. They're silly. They don't like it when we're out here and they're inside. Well, what I'm gonna do, because we got most of this is pinned off pretty good, is we got some snow fence. It's like this vinyl wrap rollout fence. Comes with poles, and we're gonna set up a little fence off a little area for them so that they can come out and hang out with us and go potty and have a little freedom out here. We just got to make sure that we take it down and put it away at the end of the day because they're real strict out here about anything. But last year we were putting it up and running it through half the yard so that the dogs could play outside, and they had so much fun, the kids and the dogs playing outside. I wish they had more freedom. I wish I could just open the door and let them out. If we had our deck built, then that would be blocked off and we'd be able to block them up on that, but I don't want them stuck on the deck all the time either. So they need their grass. But we opted out of doing a deck this year because we need a shed more, and we're going to be lucky to get it built and done before winter. And so I want to focus on that and finish siding our house. And that's a lot of money right there, those two things. So the deck wasn't at the top of the list. It's not a necessity. It's just, it would be nice. But we have this patio area and we've made do with it and it works out. So I think this is good enough for now. The shed is going to be a godsend because it's going to provide us with the ability to have everything more organized. It'll be bigger than the one we have. We're going to design it a certain way so that there's storage on one side and tools and yard stuff on the other side. We saved 2 of the windows from the front of our home and we remodeled the front out of the bay window that we took out. And I specifically wanted those for the front of the shed because that way we'll have natural light in there and a way to vent it and get air in there if anybody's in there working on anything. So we got it all designed and figured out and everything. We just gotta, there's a lot to it because we have to lay a foundation down, cement foundation. And if you have cement poured, it's so expensive. So we're going to do it ourselves and it's a lot of work. But I think I'll have my son and husband do it because my back isn't going to tolerate me trying to push cement into a wooden frame. But we have to like pin off where we're going to put the shed. It has to be approved by the trailer court. Then we got to take it down to where we pay our property taxes, and then they have to okay the zoning of it, of a bigger shed than what you're allowed to build. So there's all these little pieces you have to, to even get to it. So, but the old shed is in horrible shape, so it's got to go. I don't know how it's going to make it through another season because it's made out of that old wood stuff, and it's all rotted away, and it doesn't have a cement foundation under it either, so that's sinking into the ground. So, but we'll get that thing done. I mean, I asked my husband, I said, I'm sure we could build a shed in a weekend, especially if like Dustin was helping and I was helping, if we were all working together. I mean, the cement has to be laid and then it has to dry for days before you start building on it. So that would be the only thing that would take some time. But as far as framing it off and getting it all done, it shouldn't take us too awful long. Maybe a little more time than that, but it'll be nice. And when we sell this one day, that is going to be a big plus on there, having a nice shed. So, but we have a lot of siding to do, and we have to get it all done before before it gets cold, which isn't going to be too far away. So, been on my husband. I'm like, we've got to get this done. But like I said, he's been out of work for a little bit, so it's enough to just try to afford, the basics these days. Let alone try to, the basics, and then trying to remodel stuff on top of it. So we do bits and pieces where we can, but I can't wait to see that when it's finally finished and all sided. It'll be so nice. The back of it, we got all the back done except for two pieces, and then he has to do the top of the back, like the part that comes to a peak. Yeah. What you doing, honey? Looking at videos. I think we're gonna go to the dog park with the dogs sometime this week. I've been gonna take them all summer, and I need to just do it. There's a nice one. I mean, we've got a few near us, but there's a really, really nice updated one down close to where my mom lives. And my son's dog Moo that he used to have, um, that was staying here with us for a while till him and my Milo just stopped getting along for some reason. They started getting overbearing on who was in charge of being the alpha in the house, because it was two males. So anyway, so my mom took him, and she already had his sister. So, and they're doing really good together. It was a good fit. We wanted to keep him in the family. My son he for so long didn't have his own place. He was renting from friends, and everybody has their own animals. And it's hard to bring your own animal in, unless you have your own place. So, but yeah. So, but my little Gizmo and Moo were like playmates. They played so good together in that, and I know they haven't seen each other in a long time, so I thought they'd enjoy getting together and playing. Just got to keep Milo and him away from each other. Or there'll be a real dog fight at the dog park. It's all good though. You gotta love them, right? They might get a little lippy with their barking sometimes, but at the end of the day, they love you to pieces. They don't. They just want to love you and cuddle and be loved back. They don't really expect much other than a little, feed me and pet me. So, but it's interesting trying to sleep with three of them, though. I'm telling you. And Milo sometimes gets after the younger one because he feels like his wherever he decides to lay. He doesn't want anybody in his area or where his normal spots are. He's a trip. He was trying to attack my little guy today. I'm like, dude, don't start no fights in my room. Trying to get the Bigfoot off the face of the book. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow I don't even know what we really got planned for tomorrow. I know we need to go up and we need to work. We have so many things we need to work on. We need to work on the house. We need to go up and mess with the camper. That was the project we didn't get done. That was supposed to be done before the summer because my plan was to go out and camp and be away from the house more this summer than here. And then we didn't get the camper finished in time before the kids got here, which was going to be a surprise for them. So I ended up just deciding, okay, well, then let's do some gardening and do some at-home stuff, and we're going to try to get that sucker ready. And we see the kids again over Thanksgiving, so they have, I think, 1 week off of school over Thanksgiving week, and so we'll have them over that time, and that'll be really exciting for the kids. And I mean, it'll be a little bit colder then, yeah, at the end of November, but hey, that's what heaters are for, right? I just don't. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. If we have shitty weather, then we won't mess around with it. But if it's decent, we might do something fun like that. Go do something different for Thanksgiving for a change instead of the traditional stuff all the time. We always do the same thing every year. You know, traditions are great, but there's nothing wrong with making new ones, right? That's what I say. New traditions are fun. New memories. Adventures. Who says everything has to be by the book? Some families, they have the same place they go for every holiday, every time, every year, and nothing ever change. No changes, no new places, no new things. Just the usual gets boring after a while. You know, and so I think it's fun for kids to have. Um, I thought you had that. Yeah. Um, I just think it's more exciting for kids to get to experience new adventures and stuff. And nowadays it's really hard to keep kids interested in things because they're really distracted by everything else. And I just think it would be exciting to start some new traditions. Years ago, I started doing a different tradition for Christmas. It always was like big meals, and you'd go to different family members' houses, and then I started doing more of it like at home. Like just having to get together with. Sometimes it had to be two different get-togethers to get with everybody, or however we could get together. But I started doing something simpler, like doing a huge pot of chili, making a bunch of cornbread up, putting out some cashews and M&Ms for Christmassy snacks and stuff, but just doing something like that because it's reasonable. I have a huge crock pot, 7 quart. I can make, if I do a huge batch, I can fill that thing full in one Christmas. I fed my whole family. I think some people even had 2 bowls. And then several friends that came over later, and I think at the end of that day I had served over 12 bowls of chili out of that 7 quart crock pot. So that was, I fed a lot of people out of that. And so it was really good. And I mean, who doesn't like chili? I mean, come on. And mine is amazing. I'm just not bragging, but just saying it's really good. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a turkey and a ham and a roast and this and that and spend a lot of money. Just getting together and having a nice cozy little, it was a new tradition that we decided to do with our family, and I think it's a good one. I think it's, yeah. I recommend everybody trying something new and, making new memories, new traditions, new adventures with your family. Keep it real, because I mean, life is short, and all we can do is make it as interesting as we can while we're here, right? Right? What I try to do. Deal with what I swear to God, y'all, there was a mosquito literally on my fucking face just now trying to bite my face. I'm like, look, you gotta go, bro. I kind of wonder if I shouldn't put that light though on the lid because I feel like, well, right now there's only the one live plant there, but I feel like it'll help because those plants that are floating need like more light on them. they usually directly, so I could attach it up on the top. You know what I mean? Too, just probably cord would be kind of
They'll get them. Like,
yeah, because I could put the they are just not above them. I don't know.
otherwise you just move it up. You have to bring it out of the water. I don't know.
Right. It can be submersed or not. I think it's an either or type deal. Yeah, there's so much water in this, the lid don't want to, won't go on for me, but it mostly does. Hmm.
Like those airtight locking ones.
Yeah.
Because they're a little thicker.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. This isn't very thick. But it's a temporary thing, like I told everybody, it's just we're just going to do it for outdoor use. And then when it's getting too cold, that's why I got a heater for it. When it gets too cold, then we'll take everything inside, and then I guess during the time of the year when it's warm out, we'll have an outdoor aquarium type thing set up. You just got to make sure it's protected. That's the thing, like we can put stuff around this to make this stay warmer. I just got to do a little research and make sure that the heater is not going to affect the plastic at all. Because if it is, I'll be mad. Excuse me. Jeez, sorry everybody. Ugh, that was a unexpected cough. Where's my coffee? I think I went down the wrong tube, or the right one the wrong way. I don't know, but Yetis are really good mugs for coffee. They keep stuff cold or hot for a really long time. I have this doggone song in my head, probably because I listened to it too many times today. And it just keeps playing over in my head like I'm listening to it. It's so bizarre. Wow. All right. I didn't want to cough in your guys' ear again, so. It's 10:07 here, and we still have just me and Becca in the chat. We've got a couple people on Facebook watching. I appreciate y'all out there. I just noticed when you came into chat earlier that your the just changed to a different before the Becca. I don't even know why I said that like that. It's so silly. At first, I didn't even know that she'd been in there talking to me because I had put in a message and it was blocking my screen, and I had forgot to push the button again to send it into the chat. So I didn't see all her comments until I finally figured it out and sent that. Yeah, I was like, she's like, well, I'm in here talking to myself. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Goodness. But yeah, no, I probably should have put that on. I put it in my description, open panel, but I probably should have put it in the title because that always helps. Because then the people want to like come up and hang out, then they know that you're gonna have an open panel. Yeah, and a long time ago back in there, I put the actual StreamYard up, but I always somebody was gonna show me one time how to pin it to the top, and I never did figure that out, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, maybe next time I come on live, I'll talk to my guitar playing friend and see if she wants to play a little music. And um, at least if I have to run out of the room for a minute or out of the area for a second, be something interesting to listen to, some entertainment. So I'm hoping um, that we'll do some stuff like that too once in a while. Do some music. Music's always good. The mosquitoes have decided to leave me alone. I did that deodorant trick. I'm not a big fan, y'all, of bug spray at all. And some people have sensitive skin, and I'm one of them. So I had just tried it this summer. It was weird. Took my deodorant and sprayed it all around my clothes and all over, right? And because of the stuff that's in deodorant, they not like that. So they weren't bugging me. And I had my husband and his son doing it too with theirs. Like they did not like degree deodorant. So yeah, I'll have to do. But yeah, so and maybe what I'll start doing too is just do some random lives once in a while, late at night when I can't sleep, because those have always been really good ones. I've had a lot of turnout and really late in the middle of the night, when other people can't sleep. So I've had some. I think one night we had, God, it was like a 6 hour live, and I at one point was gonna close it down, and then some of the people that I don't get to see very much in the chat came in, and I was like, "Oh, I'm staying. I'm gonna stay in here because you guys are all coming in, and I want to hang out with y'all." So I stayed. I ended up being over like 6 or 7 hours, and we were doing really good. Having this, I was talking to RC, and we were having a great conversation and covering all sorts of subjects, right? And we just had a really good flow going on. And then, but his internet was cutting in and out, so we had a few interruptions there. And then after his acted up, then later mine did something weird. And anyway, so we didn't ever get a finish. So well, maybe one of these nights he'll pop on and we can have another really good conversation, because we had a lot of like really good subjects that we were discussing. He's a very good conversationalist. Really nice, pleasant person to have on your panel. And you just never know, but you can you get a feel for people. You know, you meet people in other communities and you get to know them, and what kind of person they are. You've been on a panel with them before, and I say that's the safest way to do it, because you already know like what to expect. If you get anybody that gets too carried away in there, then that's a whole nother story. Don't want that. So I think Becca will be back in a few minutes. She's had to go say goodnight to everyone. Oh my goodness. I need to go get my real ID done, because last year when I got my driver's license, they hadn't started it yet. You could get it then, but for some reason, I don't know why they can't just look. If you've had a driver's license for a long time, you're obviously not a fake person. If you can go in there, I don't know why they can't just upgrade your driver's license instead of having to do a whole new one. Like, it's so weird. And you have to have all these documents, the same amount of documents you need for a passport to get a real ID now. It's just like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. I might have to just get that, because I don't think I'm gonna have time to get a passport in time. It's not like they're terrifically expensive, but literally the entire summer we just been on one income, and we had a lot of food that we had to purchase to keep everybody fed all summer, especially with the 3 dogs. I mean, I make all their food homemade, so we buy a lot of food for them, and then we had the little ones here, which are now big ones. Now are a lot bigger. They eat a lot more when they get older, eh? So yeah, and then we just had a lot of family around. Summertime, we always spend a lot more money on groceries, because we're doing a lot more grilling meat. You're eating a lot more different stuff than casseroles and stuff that you know shit you can throw together. So yeah, I'm not really sure why, but I think we need to time the fountain tomorrow and see how many hours it's running, because it's supposed to run 4 hours from the time that it starts to get dark, like it starts dark too. And it used to stay on until about 12:30 every night. And then that one night we cleaned it out at like 12:30 at night, really late, and took it out. And I don't know if we didn't put it back in until the next day, but it was off. Like it's off. Like, I don't know. We need to reset it, I think. There's a button on the bottom. I think we should just reset it and that should work. I need to read the instructions. I have the box, but we're trying to figure it out, guys. Yeah, because everything runs on solar, and all the fountains are in amazing, like really good places for getting solar power. So that's a really good thing. We got them in sunspots, you know. But yeah, the one over there, ever since we took it and cleaned it late at night, it just was weird. Now it turns off way earlier. Comes on earlier though too. I think a little earlier in at dusk. Okay, that time I saw that mosquito coming towards me. Look, you better back. Go over there towards that thing. There's a light over there. Leave me the hell alone.
Let's either heat or lights.
If anybody's out there and wants me to show them anything that they may have missed, you can post that in the chat and let me know. Most of the like fish stuff we've got set up, I showed probably pretty close to the beginning of the live. I think with Vegas and stuff, that was just within the last hour. He was in there doing his usual thing of he was doing little tricks, and you know how he does, and he was going up and through his plants, and I was hoping he'd go in the pineapple little pineapple cave thing and show everybody, but that was just so funny when I saw him in there earlier, and I'm all like looking in close up to the glass and looking in there, and I see him in there, and when he sees me see him in there, he starts doing all these like somersaults and flip flops in there, and I'm like laughing. I was just like, he literally comes and swims right up to the glass and looks you straight in the face like a normal animal, a domestic animal would not. A fish is so bizarre. His little itty bitty eyeballs. He's just so cute. He's got a dark head, but his lips are aqua, just like the aqua in his tail, and it's just so funny because that's how I can see his lips. If they weren't light like that, like there's no way that you'd even see his lips, you know, if they matched his own. My fish has aqua lips. What color are your fish's lips? Do you even know? Can you see close enough to tell? I remember when we got him, there was that other one. Remember we were going to get two? And one was a regular beta and one was a tropical beta. And they couldn't be together.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And the other one was really pretty colors too. He was really neat. I had them both. And then I get up there and the lady broke my heart. I'd have had to get 2 tanks. Or I would have had to get a tank that has a slit between it. So you can have both your betas on each side, but it's divided. I don't like the look of that, though. It looks so weird. Like, you can't be on my side. So, betas are a one-on-one, and he loves his snail friend. Turbo doesn't bother him and keeps his house clean, and he loves him. And so, they're a perfect pair, and they'll always just be the two of them. I would never probably put anything. When I get a bigger tank, I'm going to add another snail in there to help that guy. But that's it. And then this right here, this right here is going to be a community space. So we're going to do 2 snails for algae. I'm not even messing with any more the placotomus because I'm petrified now that the one didn't last. And then I figured just a couple small fish in there. They have these little tiny mosquito. It's like a goldfish, but not a goldfish. They're like a mosquito version of a goldfish. It's really small and tiny. And I was going to get a couple of those and then just a couple regular size small goldfish. That'd be good enough for in here. Yeah. And then those same amounts of fish would fit in a 10-gallon. Because I figured we'd do a 10-gallon on the bottom and then a 5-gallon on top for Vegas. And that would be just... But hopefully I was telling everybody, if we build it off of this and we get some stain this all up and make it look nice, could be pretty badass. I mean, it would be sturdier than if we bought one online. I've been looking at them on Amazon, y'all. Let me tell you, they're not expensive, but they're not made very good. They're like, this holds 250 pounds or this holds 500 pounds. And I'm like, and it's made out of what? Plywood or laminated wood or something. It's not real wood.
Fiberboard.
Yeah, fiberboard. Nothing is made out of real anything anymore, y'all.
Well, just glue.
Everything that I bought for the living room, for the office stuff, every bit of that, none of that's real wood. I think one of them is made out of better wood than some of the other stuff, but the rest of it's not.
Well, that entertainment center that you do not have anymore, that when it came broke, I was able to fix it because the part was wood.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that was expensive though, but yeah. But the stuff I've gotten off Amazon, I mean, most of it is, it's not the nightstands we got for the kids, all that, but I mean, they can, the way I look at it is when you get older and you get out on your own, you have your own style, your own furniture you want. So wherever you have at home, it doesn't have to be top notch. As long as it looks nice and it does the job, that's good enough. We had to shut off the bug zapper. It was literally going, and I actually thought it was the neighbors across the way because it was so loud. I thought they had one of them big, massive ones, It says can't post. Come, okay, that's just a comment thing. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to talk. On anyway, hubby's going to do a trash run. That means getting rid of all the big things because our trash here is, a can that you put out to the road, and but any big stuff, they don't have trash cans here anymore to throw anything away in. So you got to go and dispose of your own stuff that's bigger. So there's that situation. Boop, doop, 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 doop. I remember years ago when I lived out in the country. Shit, when you got a big old, have these big old 55-gallon barrels and old rusty barrels, and you put all your stuff in there, and that was where you burnt your trash. And then any recycling stuff, we'd take it into town. This is when they first started recycling, and they had like these big things set up in town, and it would have like a place for cardboard, glass, plastic. It's weird to think that they used to do it that way. You used to take your recycling places, and now most cities have, bins for recycling. Now ours, they've only got us on the trash route. They do not have us on recycling. So we don't have a bin for recycling where most of the people in the city have a trash bin and a recycling bin. So there's two different size bins. We just have the trash. So we recycle most of our own stuff, like cardboard. A lot of it we'll just burn it. We'll break it down and burn it just to get rid of it and in the fire and back. But yeah. And of course, when you get a lot of stuff from Amazon, you get a lot of boxes because they love boxes at Amazon. They love to pack those boxes. They'll have a box inside of a box inside of another box. It's interesting. It's like some kind of trick gift where you got to keep going through all the layers to get to it. Oh my goodness, you guys! I have got so many owies from mosquitoes that have just like the. I swear that one night I got bit, and then and then I went and put pants on, and then I ended up having to go in and later and put a jacket on too because they left them my legs alone. But then they started on my arms, and one of them bit me when I had cut my arm back there messing around with the garden stuff, and I'd cut my arm, and then it bit me like right in that spot, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me! This is like warfare. But no, it's so much nicer to be able to walk around and see where you're going. As far as like, my husband for years would just walk back to the shed and there's no light back there. And I said, honey, why don't you buy one of those solar lights that goes right above your shed? It doesn't have to be hooked to electricity and it's a sensor. And when you approach it within so many feet, you'll be able to see. Well, you need to be able to see where you're walking. And then I thought, well, I got a 2-pack on Amazon, a really good deal on them. And I put one in the front facing the yard and one in the back facing the other part of the yard. So I can see back there if I need to go back and check on the garden or go back there and grab something, or if there's some monsoon coming, I need to move shit, I can see. And it's nice to be able to see what you're doing because we don't need anybody falling. Like, well, one night the hose was stretched across the yard, and yeah, I wasn't the one that tripped, but let's just say that the person that left the hose there did. And I was like, sorry. That's the reason why I try to bring it back up to the front, because we actually put 2 hoses together so that I can stretch all the way around to the back of the garden and just do all of them instead of having to walk around the other side too. So after I get off my live, I'll probably go water. They say early morning hours or late at night. And so I just try to do it before I go to bed. But there were times when I didn't water every night. And everything except for the grow bags that are growing the watermelon in it, both tomatoes and the cucumbers, they all have self-watering areas underneath them to where you can keep water under there so the roots don't get dry. Even if the top gets dry on the top, doesn't mean the bottom's not dry, not wet. So, and I realized that it had that. It holds quite a bit of water in that one set. So you pull the little plug open and there's like, I think 4 plugs on it. Yeah, there's 6. There's 2, one on each end and 2 on each side. And so you just open. I didn't know how I was going to get water in there, so I opened it up. I took my hose, turned it sideways, put it on jet, and I just spray water underneath there until it gets full, and then close it down. And then the roots are down in the bottom, so that's where you need the water is anyway. Because when you water above, especially that I have the cucumbers mulched in, it has to go through quite a few layers to get in there. So I water under and above. And if I miss a day, I know there's still getting water because there's water down under. So that's the good thing. So I've been making sure to keep those full. And the watermelon can take as much water as you can give them, because with those grow bags, it's different. I spray them really good at the top, and then I walk around the whole perimeter of the grow bags, and I spray water around the outsides too, because when you're spraying above, you're only getting you got to figure so much water going through. It's going to take a while to seep down, so you want to get around the bottoms and the areas where there's roots. And as far as the sweet potatoes in the grow bags, well, I give them water pretty much as often as everything else, but maybe a little less because they, they hold water completely different than all the other stuff does. Um, I thought that they would do really good being up on the pallets because there's air going underneath them and they're not on the ground where they'd just be smushed. There'd be no air underneath. Um, but I could have even stuck some rocks in the bottom of those above under the dirt and it would have literally done better. So next year, with all that rock that we got rid of, I wished we hadn't got rid of it because we have a whole rocked in area over here. And I told my husband, we got rid of some rocks, but there's still quite a few. I said, what we need to do is maybe add a few more and then build a raised garden bed around that area that's already blocked off because there was hostas there, right? And get rid of them and then just like build a raised garden bed and fill it full of compost and dirt and then plant the watermelons in there next year. So next year, I'm going to try to plant the watermelons right up here along the house. And then tomatoes, cucumbers, and all the other stuff will be in the back. But I'm going to definitely, I've got this whole thing planned out for next year. So I know what I'm going to do and what I didn't do right this time and what I need to change. So you live and you learn, that's for sure. And do a lot of research. There's so many gardening channels and people that share their like information on YouTube. It's endless. Like there's so much advice out there, and there's so many different things you can do, like and make organic stuff at home. Like you don't even need to like go buy any really much of anything to. I didn't know that baking soda mixed with water would help diseases and stuff. And like fix plants that have been gotten diseased or been insect. The insects, invaded a lot of the plants. My watermelon plants were getting invaded so bad until I finally started treating them. I tried the Neem's oil that was recommended. I did that with everything, and I didn't see a big change. I really didn't. So then the next one was peroxide, so many tablespoons per gallon of water. So I sprayed everything down with that looked affected, so I sprayed that and treated everything with that. And then I waited, a few days later. Um, well, actually, it was probably more like a week or two before I realized that there was another trick, which is baking soda mixed with water. And you spray it on the leaves of the plants, and then you also water it with it down by the root end. And that really helps. So, between those two things and getting the cucumber vegetable, the liquid fertilizer, it's like really concentrated. So it's a little bottle, but you pour just like a teaspoon into a gallon of water. And I started treating, I think it's been 2 weeks now, and I do it every couple days. The tomatoes start ripening and doing really good and producing more. The cucumbers are doing better. So I'm excited that some of the things I'm trying are working. Because I was starting to wonder, I'm like, wow, all this stuff started out so good, and then our weather just has been so crazy. We had all those days where it was so hot that it was just cooking stuff out there, and then you had the days where, I mean, we had like, really bad rain and wind. It was the wind, I think, was what really did a lot of those plants in back there. And then, like I said, the bug infestation. Now, whatever was in there at one point, the watermelon plants were really full and luscious and everything. And then, like, I noticed that the leaves on some of them like kind of shriveled up, and I know it's not from the heat or not or the water problem. So the next thing was like probably because I had to treat them so heavily with stuff because they were so there was I would spray stuff in there and there would be everything in the world, ladybugs, ants, you name it, crawling up out of there trying to get away from what I was spraying, and I was so disappointed. I was like, wow, because they started out looking beautiful, and right now I've just been going around as, pulling out certain plants that aren't producing anything that are, really not going to make it because it's going to get cold soon. It's already starting to get cooler at night. So there's that. Ow. But yeah. I wish we lived in a world without certain insects, at least the ones that are invade and bite us and try to eat us. And yeah, that would be nice. We've been on here for 3 hours and we've had nobody join us in chat. So I think everybody must be really busy. So I think I'm going to pop off here and go let my phone charge up and check on my dogs. Turn off the fish tank light for the night because it's not supposed to be on all the time. I try to do it according to like the time of day. So like at night, everything goes off, and then later in the day, after I get the dogs all settled in and everything, and then I'll go pop the light on. And Vegas gets all excited because he knows it's probably time to eat soon. So he does his little dance and starts coming out to check out to see what I'm going to give him for the day. And he's got 2 different kinds of betta food, and I give him one time a day, and I feed the dogs twice a day too. So I try to feed him around the time I'm feeding them, but sometimes it's not exact, right? Um, Over the summer, it was interesting. My schedule of feed the dogs, because I usually got them fed right away, because then I'd be making breakfast for the kids as they were eating. So it'd be feed the dogs, then I'd feed the humans, then I'd feed the fish, and then repeat. So that was how it went. But it's all good. Hey, what? I'd rather be busy than have too much time on my hands, and that's when things get to you more. I always say it's better to just keep your mind busy and productive, because the more time we spend projecting our productivity into something positive, the better our mood and our just outlook on life will be. It really does make a difference. If I would have been sitting in the house any longer, depressed and in pain with all these knee injuries the last couple of years, has been like literally about wiping me out. And I got tired of being in there and just like being like, I don't know, bummed all the time. So I was like, you know what? It's time to go out. And I mean, heck, doing all this, I've lost weight. I feel better. I got a tan for once. I never get tan. I'm usually like that person that's white as a ghost because I never go out in the sun. Well, you don't really have a choice. When you're outside planting and gardening, you're outside in the sun. So I got tan. I do have a farmer's tan, though. I had short sleeve. Well, most of the time I had not super short sleeve shirts on, but pretty much. And then um, I want to say my tan line on my legs is like at a shorts level, like long shorts. And then at my ankles where my short socks were on. So I've got some really white spots, and then I got some really tan spots. So it's kind of funny, but that's okay. Would be calico. It's all good. But it's been amazing. Would have been great if more people would have been able to come in, but it was I think I only put it up like 4 or 5 hours ahead, so it's not a lot of time. But I will work on a schedule and be posting the Sunday times for gardening updates, and then my Tuesday, Thursday lives. I will get those times figured out as well. And that should really help everybody kind of like be on the same page again. And it just helps to know when someone's going to be going live so that you can plan for it too, you know? And I might mess with the times a little bit, but not the dates. So I've pretty much zeroed in on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So those are the days. And like I said, if there's ever something exciting going on or we're doing something really fun, I'll probably just pop up and do a quick live, or, something like that, where there wouldn't be much time to say, hey, at this time I'm going to do it. So, but it'll for the most part be scheduled, and I'll have that all set up, and hopefully we'll start getting better numbers and get more people in. I love having a full chat with everybody, hanging out and having a good time. It's a lot of fun, and I'll remember next time in my title to put open panel, because I know that helps too, because a lot of people like to come up and hang out. So I was kind of looking forward to that, but we will try for Tuesday for that. And hope you all have a great Labor Day weekend, and take care. Wild Angel signing off. See you soon. Bye.